Hi, welcome back.
Hey.
Free2Podcast. Just kidding. Free2Podcast episode 8.
Way to make everyone
right?
close the video already, dude.
Everyone's already gone. We didn't.
Oh. All right. We're on episode 8. I have the lovely Faye, as usual, Fayetalis.
Hey.
Skr, Bill. And then myself, Jitsu or Brian. And then we have a special guest this week, Herny. Henry.
What up?
Yes. Yo.
How are you doing?
For Herny or Henry?
Honestly, Henry is fine. I've been like slowly migrating away from Herny. Like people haven't noticed. Like if you check on Twitter, it's Henry now. It's not Herny anymore. And like one day, everything will be switched back.
Can you tell us the story of what, like, where Herny came from?
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know.
hernia.
No.
Was it just like a typo that escalated in?
Yeah, I typoed it. I typoed it on Skype years ago when I would play World of Warcraft. And I typoed it on Skype, and then people would be like, "Oh, like what's up, Herny?" Like playing games. And then when I made my YouTube channel, I typoed it there too. So I was like, and I didn't realize it until like way later, until I got a comment that said, "I thought your name was Henry," or "I thought your hunter's name was like Horny or something," and I was like, what are they talking about? And then I saw it and I was like, you know what, I'm keeping it. So like Twitch and stuff like that's on purpose, but YouTube is like an actual accident.
Okay. That's great.
That's cool,
and Skype, that ancient app.
My goodness. Do you guys still use Skype?
I have it on my computer still, actually.
I still use MSN Instant Messenger, bro.
Oh hell yeah, that AIM life. I remember.
AOL Messenger.
ASL,
I had like
baby.
40 screen names.
Mhm.
Do you ever have like someone in I was gonna say like real life, but like do you ever have someone like that isn't really involved in like gaming ask you, it's like, yeah, we can Skype and stuff or something?
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have people asking about that?
Not anymore. Yeah,
It's
not
mostly
in a long
Zoom.
time. Zoom now, yeah.
No.
It's like, yo, we should
Really?
Zoom, man. Yeah.
Is that
Man,
really
I
a
get
thing?
those like frequent
the most
questions
popular.
because oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you could go.
I was just saying I get like a lot of boomer talk where like my cousin or my uncle be like, how's your twitching going?
Yep.
Bro, I'm not twitching. I'm broadcasting.
Oh my
Like, I
God,
got a
my
bad
family does the
Twitch
same
going on.
thing.
I have Tourette's.
Yep, my family does the same thing, dude. The twitching.
Yeah, I feel like
Twitch
people still don't quite kind of like a lot of. I didn't really start telling people I was a streamer like until like last year ish. We can talk about why later. I'm weird about like my accomplishments. I like don't think it's real until it's real.
Okay.
But people think it's like radio broadcast or something. Like all my family think I'm like a radio host, and I was like, I'm always gonna correct them, and I'm like, you know what?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Sure, that's
That
what
sounds
it is.
cool.
You know
That sounds
what?
legit.
I'm a radio host. We're hosts.
Oh man. Yeah, when I tell like some people that I used to work in a pharmacy, and they would always ask me like, oh, what are you doing now? I tell them, immediately it just translates to like, oh wait, so you're like an internet girl and you do like things online. It's like, oh my God, it's not like that.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Automatically goes to that, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a whole different connotation when you say you
Oh,
show yourself
gosh.
live on the internet.
Yep.
Say I broadcast live on the internet and just like, what do you do? It's like I make content online. It's like, it doesn't sound better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta be specific for that kind of stuff.
So tough, dude. It's so tough. And then when
You
you're
gotta
more
say, like, I
specific,
kill
they're like,
monsters and
how
I
do
rip
you-
their skin off and I wear it
Yeah.
online. I do that.
Does anyone
sounds
still
better.
Does anyone still get the question like, oh, what do you stream or what do you? Well, at least for me, because I only stream like 3 games. It's like, oh, like what do you play? And I'm like, oh, Monster Hunter. Oh, what do you do in that game?
You
Yeah.
hunt monsters.
I hate explaining
It's a racing
that,
game.
dude.
it's in the title.
That's what I always answer. It's a race. I mean, we're not far off anymore with Rise. Which is really
Oh
funny.
shit! No,
We're
you're
getting
right.
close. We're getting close to Monster Hunter Kart. One of these days.
Did you guys see the edited video of like people memed it with like the riders making it look like it's a Mario Kart like race? with like changing like the
not-
different
not
places
yet.
and everything. I can send you the link after
No.
this. It's really funny. It's
Please,
really well
yeah.
edited.
So
Oh my
we got
God.
you as our special guest this week, Henry.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, outside of the Twitch world, you know, what do you do for fun? And then after that, kind of explain, you know, how this all started. You mentioned YouTube, so
Sure, sure.
let's learn a little bit more about you, man.
Of course, of course. Well, my job, aside from teaching, is I teach, or aside from teaching, aside from streaming, is that I teach. I teach music. I give one-on-one piano lessons, and then I also give group music theory classes. Although right now, due to COVID, I'm only doing the one-on-ones. But yeah, I've been playing piano for since I was 4. It's like the number keeps changing as I get older. What is it? 17. What's math? 22. What the fuck was I about to say? 17. 22 years. I'm 26. Yeah, and I love piano and I love music. And funnily enough, when I was like learning, I never intended to teach. It was more of like performance, you know, like and I do love performing live. Like that's like the funnest thing ever.
Yeah.
I did have a band briefly.
Ooh.
But teaching is a lot of fun, and I think teaching has also made me a better musician. Like my ears got a lot better. Like I'm like you can put sheet music in front of me and I can read it really fast now, because like I could already read it, but like now that I'm trying to help someone else learn it, I'm like quicker with it too. And there's something like really special about like seeing a kid like go from like hating, because nobody likes piano when they start.
Right.
Seeing a kid go like from like it's the thing that their mom put them in to like, oh, like okay, this is pretty cool. Like I'm doing
Yeah.
something funky now, yeah. And then
Yeah.
when a student's like doing really well, I like to give them a little incentive. So I'm like, why don't you pick a song? And like instead of like following the curriculum, like we'll learn a song that you want to do, and every time I'm just like, it can be from a game, from a show, from an anime, and then every time they're like an anime, and then they bring in like right now I'm teaching someone Cruel Angel's Thesis, so that's really funny. But yeah, so that's my main thing when I'm not streaming. And yeah, so streaming and YouTube, it's really funny for me to like be where I'm at with streaming, because I never thought it would get at this point. The only reason I started streaming, like the only reason, is because I would get a lot of anxiety when I wouldn't post on YouTube. That's great. So I was like, oh, okay, like what is something I can do to convince my brain that I'm still being productive and like doing something so I don't feel bad? So I started streaming. So streaming was just something to do in between YouTube videos. And now it's kind of like becoming my main thing. Like, and YouTube has become like the side thing, but I do very much enjoy both.
That's
But
really cool.
I
That's
started YouTube. Technically, I started my YouTube channel in like 2011, which is really funny. Can you see when a channel was created, or can only I see that?
Yeah, you can. I think so. Like usually on a channel when you go
Can,
to
I
like
probably
subscriber
Google
see
you.
it?
on the
What's that?
about page.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying I can Google you.
Yeah, if you go to my channel, it'll show 2011, even
gosh.
though
December
I
9th,
started
2011.
yeah. So
Wow.
Do you
I used
still
to-
remember your first video you uploaded?
Yes, it's on private now.
Aw.
That's one of those, huh?
So good.
All those videos are on private, and it was just me and my friends playing Left 4 Dead and Team Fortress 2, and it's just a bunch of that. So that's all hidden now. But some people like my early subscribers, before those videos were private or unlisted, they saw them and they're like, this guy hunts best in the AM or something like that. Or they some random comments that have nothing to do with the video. It's really funny.
That's funny.
But yeah, so I started back then just for fun. I should have kept it that way. I should have kept it just for fun, but I got lost in the sauce halfway through. But then I just tried to be a real YouTuber. So like really I started in like 2017. And that's when I started like, or 2016, I guess. And that's when I started to become or try to be a Monster Hunter YouTuber. And now I'm here.
Nice. Yeah, you uploaded a video that like blew up, and it's still like being memed today, which is insane. The hunting horn one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I find that video, I made it in 30 minutes, and it's just like this like random idea I had, and still to like I can post a new video, but that video will top the weekly views every week, like without
That's
fail.
amazing. Is that
Yeah.
the Jack Black one? I
Yeah.
love Jack
Yeah,
Black.
it's still,
He's like my favorite person. And when I saw
Yeah.
that, I was like, my two favorite things colliding into one
Yeah.
video.
That video has
4 million views.
yeah,
now?
it's crazy.
6
It's
million,
crazy.
I
There's
think.
no right.
I think it's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my
good
claim
shit.
to fame. If all else fails in life, if I lose my job and I never accomplish any of my dreams, at least I made when you have a hunting horn main in your squad or whatever the hell I named it, and imprint that on my tombstone.
You know what's
That's
funny?
really
I got my
good.
coworkers talking about it. They came up to me and they're just like, "Hey, you're into Monster Hunter, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You should see this video." They showed me it, and I was just like, "Oh, my gosh,
God.
that is
Good,
so
good.
weird."
No way.
And they're just
Were you
like-
like, huh, funnily enough.
It's like, yeah, I was just like, yeah, I actually know the guy who made that. They're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, man.
Such a
That
small
should have been
world out
my.
there.
Yeah,
What's up?
it's a small
Oh, I
world.
was just saying, what a small world, dude.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, and the game is like getting bigger. I mean, we'll talk more about that later, but it is cool to see like how much bigger the series has come.
Oh,
Or
for
God.
sure. I think World has definitely helped around with that too. Like
Mhm,
because of like the platforms it was on and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it
So
doesn't
since-
help when Monster Hunter comes out on just like the 3DS or on the Wii or the Wii U. You know, just like
Mhm.
Yeah.
once it became public on console like PlayStation, I think
And
that's
PC.
when it really took off. Yeah, even PC, right? Just all platforms. So I mean, you had a good point. And then like the game is a lot easier to play and more streamlined and like beginner friendly compared to old Monster Hunter. So there's
Mhm.
that too.
What were
Yeah,
you
for
gonna say,
sure.
Faye?
So I just had a question. So since you're like a musician, are there any like what are your favorite instruments to play, and are you a hunting horn main because you are so in tune with music?
That's a good question. Oh, wait, did I go black for a second?
Oh, you're fine.
No, you're good.
No,
Okay,
you're good.
Am I a hunting horn main? Well, funnily enough, I didn't actually become a hunting horn main until after that video. So I'm kind of I'm like a fake fan. So I'm exposing myself right now. But that was kind of like when I was starting to really enjoy it. But no, I always loved the concept
Sure.
of the like an instrument weapon, but you know,
Yeah.
back then I was like, man, this weapon is whack. Like I didn't
Yeah.
want it back then. I was like, I'm not feeling. I like it, but
sucks.
I'm gonna stick to my lance and my hammer over here. But obviously,
Sure.
it's gotten a lot better.
Mhm.
Cool.
But yeah, I love hunting horn. And favorite instrument to play?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because like I got lessons for piano, but I taught myself guitar. For the same reason everyone else learns guitar, to be that cool guy, you know, sitting
Yeah.
there. You know, I was a tool back then. I did that thing. I can admit it.
Okay.
But you know, I couldn't bring a piano everywhere, so I was like, I want to learn something a bit more portable. So I taught myself guitar, and that's not like tooting my own horn. Like if you know piano, you
No.
can learn every other instrument pretty easily. You
Sure.
just kind of like copy and paste the theory. And I love piano, but I love just being able to like be in my bed and just like just lean over, grab the guitar.
Sure.
And, yeah. So I love me some guitar.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I feel like a lot of modern day musicians teach themselves instruments, and they like a lot of them can't even read music. They
Mhm.
just kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
write what they feel and go with it, which is so
Definitely.
interesting.
Do any of you here play stuff?
I wish. I want to.
It's never too late.
I was in band. I was in band all my life. I played the trumpet.
Yeah,
throughout.
you did. Didn't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
I played-
That was
so-
amazing.
I
Fayetalis got me feeling some kind of way, man. Oh my god, he was just the most hype fight of Monster Hunter
Hell
World
yeah.
for me. And I was like, I gotta play. Like, I had Proof of a Hero stuck in my head for days because of that fight. Because everyone was just spamming that fight and just hearing the music. And I was like, I gotta just get this out of my system. So I busted out my trumpet. I went to my parents' house, got my trumpet, busted it out. I haven't played it in years.
You
All my
killed it. You
valves
killed it.
were
That was
not.
so
My
good.
valves were so sticky. Thank you. I just played like the main part because that's all I could do. But someday I'm gonna play that whole thing. I promise you.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
I have this this idealized dream of mine where I'm gonna like gather all the musical members of the community, because there's a bunch of
There
musical
is.
people.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
And I was talking to Pointy about this at E3, and do some big like fucking like 50 screens on the screen kind of thing, and
Oh
just like
my
have us all play. I really want to do that.
Dude,
That would be incredible.
that
So-
would blow up.
We'll rally the troops for that one day. I think that'd be awesome.
There's like
And
tuner,
we need some
there's-
brass instruments. So perfect. We got the
Yo, count
we got
me
the
in.
lead
I'm
trumpet.
in.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
That would be amazing. There's you, there's Tuner, there's Chris.
Yeah, he's been practicing a lot.
Yeah.
What does Chris play?
Practicing a lot. He's been
Guitar?
practicing a lot of guitar.
Oh, okay.
And then there, who else?
Wolfie Melon, she's fantastic on the pianos, on the keys.
Damn, I want to learn
Nice.
violin. I really want to learn violin.
That's a tough
So
one, dude.
I played
Yeah.
violin for 9 years.
You did?
hell
And
yeah.
I went to percussions, yeah, and I was in
Cool,
band
Ryan.
for percussions for a bit.
Hell
Nice,
yeah.
man. Which did you like more?
I play a mean triangle. You know, if you're hiring, I play a mean triangle. Just
You
let
can
me
be
know.
in the band.
Oh,
You
hell
can-
yeah.
But no, I play drums and then I played violin. That's kind of like my introduction to music, and you know, like once you learn how to read sheet music, the transition's pretty easy.
Mhm.
Oh, for
But
sure.
man, I just wish like I started with a cello or like a bass.
Cellos are dope, dude.
Oh,
Cellos
man.
are sick.
I was just like that dumb kid that didn't want to carry around a heavy cello, but I
Yeah.
should have just taken that burden.
Just get over it and just do it. Would have been worth it.
Yes.
Yeah, the big instruments always sound really cool, like the tuba.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
the sousaphone, if you will.
Tuba
That's
and
sick.
baritone, saxophone. Those instruments
Oh,
are
yeah.
amazing.
I wish I knew sax. Sax is
Me
dope.
too. My
Mm.
brother played saxophone for many
Oh, no
years too.
kidding.
We were both. Yeah, he's amazing. Oh, well, he played the alto sax, but oh, so pretty. Such a cool instrument. Music is dope.
It is.
Really,
Music's
really
great.
quick.
I think
But
it'll be okay.
Herny, I was looking through your Instagram. This is something that I like to do when we have a guest on. This is
Yes.
the second time I've ever done this. I act
Stop.
like I've done this for a while.
hmm
But you want to kind of explain this picture? Let me find the chat.
Oh,
Holy-
that's like in Hot Ones. Like explain that gram.
Yeah. You want to explain that
Yeah.
gram for
Hell
me?
yeah. Please do. Yeah, I wonder what it is. That's another.
Oh, that's just your
fantasy line.
Instagram page. Go, hold on.
So your
Hold
whole
on.
page. So
You wanna just so
Wait.
so this is actually a really cool picture. One, you got a lot
hey.
of style going on with the turtleneck. I can respect that with the blazer, the turtleneck and blazer.
Wait. Did you already show it?
it's on the
It's,
in our chat.
I posted in the group chat.
Oh shoot.
Looking
Hold
it
on.
up right
It's
now.
loading. Oh snap! The Festa. Ah, what a cool experience.
Yeah,
Oh,
so kind of
cool.
like break down the festa for us. Like, you know,
Sure.
what did you do at the festa and your whole experience in Boston? Because this all. So just to give you guys some context, last February, was that right?
Yes. Yeah. we're coming up
Monster
on a year.
Hunter or Capcom hosted the North American, is it championship or?
They called it championship. Yes.
Okay. And it was a qualifying round where people can hunt a Bombero, and then once you qualify, there's the Nami, and there's some key things that came from Monster Hunter Festa, but go ahead and kind of just break it down for us, Henry. Like, what's
For
going
sure.
on with that picture?
I think that was this in the rehearsal. No, this was the real deal. Yeah. So first of all, I got to say, just an awesome experience to have like the first. Well, it wasn't the first like tournament ever, but like the first tournament kind of like orchestrated in that sense, and like streamed, and it had a bunch of people, and like it was so cool to be like a fan and do that, because I was like fanboying throughout the whole thing. I was like,
I can
wait,
imagine, man.
I was so fucking nervous. But yeah, the Festa when they announced it, I had actually at first I was going to PAX. I was already going to PAX.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Why don't I try to commentate for this? I had done very minimal commentating in the past for
Mhm.
League of Legends.
Oh,
Nothing to do with this, but obviously I play a lot of Monster Hunter. So I was like, let me throw my hat in there. So in a string of courage one night, I DM'd Yuri and I was like, do you have commentators for this? And if you don't, can I be one?
Oh man.
And then he was like, sure, but we're not handling it. So I tell people this all the time. It actually really, like, barely any of it was like with Capcom. It was with Fandom.
Oh, no kidding.
They kind of handled everything. Like we worked, like Yuri was there and we worked with him a lot, but it was entirely like with Fandom and like the staff at the place. And so all of the emailing went back and forth with them. So I emailed the Ari from Fandom, and I was like, hey, I would like to audition for this. So she was like, yeah, why don't you send us like a demo reel? So I recorded myself kind of like this. I recorded myself, and then like in the right side I had like random speedruns, and I just like fake commented some speedruns like in my room.
Great idea.
Yeah. And then I did some actual tournaments. I did like the France one,
Nice.
the one that Orochi won. And then I did the one hunt from the one in San Francisco. Is that correct? And then I took random speedruns from the internet. I took one of my own speedruns, and then I just commentated. So it was like 25 minutes. It was like a 25-minute unlisted YouTube video. And I sent them that link.
Nice.
And then 3 to 5 business days passed, and I didn't get an answer. So I was like, okay, time to sign up for the tournament because I didn't get this gig. So I actually signed up for the tournament and I was practicing for it. And then like 10 days later or something, they were like, we would like to formally extend this offer to you. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. So
wow, that's awesome.
So I was like, oh my God. And then like we had a Zoom meeting to like talk about the game plan when it was like a week away.
Sure.
And then the Zoom meeting was just me, someone from Capcom. It was the Ari from Fandom, and then what's her face? Her name is escaping me. I apologize. Seltzer.
She was the one who also was coming.
The main host.
Yeah.
Who did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And then I got an email that was like, okay, so you're gonna have a co-host, and then like it was an email about all the information, and then at the bottom it was like, also you're gonna have a co-host. Your co-host is TDS_Chris. And I was like, oh shit, it's Chris! And then I like DM'd him, and like we DM'd each other at the same time because it was like the Spider-Man name.
Yeah,
it was like we knew there was another commentator, but we didn't know that until like 4 days before. And I was like, it's you, and he was like, it's you. It was awesome. So how exciting for it to be like someone we knew. And obviously we had played before, we had talked before, so we already had like, we were cool with each other, so we were able to kind of like bounce back and forth. But the Festa was super fun. That just showed how many more in-person events we should have, because like hanging out with like people of the community in person was so cool.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened since. So but yeah, I hope we have many more festas or whatever.
I hope so too,
that
man.
was so cool. That was freaking awesome.
I would love to go to something like that.
Yeah, well, we'll reach out to you if you don't know that's coming. But like, oh my goodness,
please do.
It was probably one of the best experiences of my life, honestly, because like met a lot of you guys online for like years, and I've known you guys for a while, and then like actually meeting everyone in person was just like, that was the best. Like drinking with you guys, hanging out, and then like even outside of the festa, we all like grabbed food and everything, and it was a great experience. Definitely.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw me in person. You're like, how is Jitsu 6'5"? But you know, like, the camera's misleading.
Everyone is
so misleading.
Dude, everyone is so tall. Why is everyone in the community so tall? I'm like shorter than everybody.
How tall are you?
Everybody's taller. I'm like 5'7" or like 5'6".
I'm like 6'1".
According to my friend, I'm a short king.
Oh damn!
Everybody is taller than me. I was like, what is this? Like Coco's tall as hell.
Yeah,
Freaking
he's super
Sock is
tall.
a giant. Alex is a giant. Dude, yeah, everyone's like taller than me. I feel like a freaking palico amongst.
Phil, did you just say you're over 6 foot?
Yeah, I'm 6'1".
Oh my god, dude.
Oh yeah, you were taller than me. Everyone was taller than me. That makes sense.
Now, me and you are
Check
about
it
the
out.
same height. I'm like 5'7", 5'8" on a good day, you know?
Yeah. After I've eaten, got the shoulders, my feet are swollen.
Gotta wear them high
Yeah.
tops.
That's too good.
But yeah,
I'm just about 5 foot.
question for all of you: Do you
Yeah.
do you guys go to a lot of cons, events, and stuff? PAX, Comic Con, Anime Expo.
Yeah. I actually went to a Comic-Con a while ago, New York Comic-Con, to see Masashi Kishimoto on stage.
Oh, sick!
Who's that?
Yeah. He's the Arthur for Naruto.
Oh, fun.
That was his first time in the United States, and
Really?
he was
That's
like
awesome.
on stage, and we were all like listening to him and everything. There's like a translator and stuff, and there was like a moment there too where he kind of forgot how to draw one of the characters, and he saw a cosplayer, and he like remembered, and he drew
Oh,
this.
wow.
I was like, that must have felt so great for that guy who was a cosplayer.
I know. Imagine being that person that was
Yeah.
cosplaying a character.
That's awesome.
I've only ever been to TwitchCons, but I would love to go to I would love to go to E3 someday or some kind of like anime thing.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. That's a goal.
Yes.
What about
I
you,
just,
Jitsu?
I just started going to conventions like ever since I started doing Twitch stuff 2 years ago. So
Mm.
Yeah.
went to TwitchCon, then I went to PAX East,
Hell
and
yeah.
then like there's like some local Twitch gatherings here that I've been to a few times, but the settings changed now. Things are a little bit different now. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Mhm.
Of course.
I'm trying to go to a TwitchCon.
I want to.
So
What about you, man?
once
How many conventions and stuff have you been to?
I've been to PAX East for the past four PAX Easts I've gone to.
Mhm.
I went to E3 last year, which was so cool. You should all come to
Awesome.
E3. It's
I
awesome.
would love to go to an
Fucking
E3. Ugh.
What's it called? I went to PAX West.
Uh-huh.
That was an experience. For PAX West was cool. Real life wasn't great around that time, but PAX West was cool. And then a couple of Comic Cons. I stopped going to Comic Con because the last time I went to Comic Con, all I did was like walk around, and I bought something that was like really expensive, and I was like, all I did was spend money here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Hang out
shopping.
with
Comic-Con is literally just shopping, unless there's like someone
Yeah.
on stage you're gonna see to like
Mhm.
Yeah,
that
so
you
I was
really
like, all
want
right.
to see. Yeah.
I was like, I think this is the last Comic Con I'm coming to. It's,
Yeah.
it's been real.
I don't know about
Um,
PAX for me. That's probably the same with me with PAX. It's like the similar thing.
Oh, yeah. Buy a lot of stuff in PAX for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I never
don't
experienced
know.
TwitchCon though.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know if I'd ever go to another TwitchCon. I've been to 2, and unless there was some kind of like Monster Hunter community meetup, or people that I really wanted to meet and hang
Yeah.
out with were there. I don't know. It's a lot of money
It is.
to go,
Yeah.
and like you guys are saying, you just kind of go and spend money.
And
But
spend
like,
more money. Yeah.
yeah, but the last TwitchCon I went to, there wasn't too many interesting things going on, and there were just like
Oh.
lines everywhere, and it was just like, I feel like this just isn't for me. Like this whole thing just really isn't for me. But I learned
We're up. Yeah.
my lesson.
I'd say unless there's like a lot of friends that you know
Yeah,
online that are going there,
exactly.
then for me it's just like an easy, just like give me the money, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta like worry about my health every time I go out to these conventions. I swear I like end up just drinking too much, or
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I just
Feel
get in trouble. Like I need a whistle next time I go out.
Woo.
Just
You need
blow on
an
a whistle
adult.
if I'm in trouble.
Security was
adult.
eyeballing you when we dragged you into the monster fest.
Yeah, they never seen anyone this tall before. I don't blame them.
I got so sick after
Aw.
E3.
Mm.
All of us did. So we thought we all caught some kind of bug. Like
Yep.
Nightside, Pointy, me, Steamy Butt Cheeks. I forgot his real name, but I'll never forget his yeah, like we like all got super sick. So in LA, as I'm sure many of you know, there's like all the scooters all over the place.
Yeah.
So Socks like seeked. Is that the past tense of seek? Sought, whatever. He
Sought
found
out.
us.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, we're all gonna hang out once I'm like done here, but we're not Ubering anywhere. We are scooting everywhere." He's like, "I just discovered these things called Bird, and we're gonna scoot everywhere." And like all of us looked at each other and we're like, "Okay, like what's the big deal?" Yo, when I tell you we were zooming downtown, we like zoomed everywhere. But in retrospect, now that I think about it, like COVID has like made me realize like we would like, you know, you leave your scooter and you have an app, so like you can find a random scooter like anywhere. So, like you like when you leave the restaurant, your scooter might be gone, but you can like walk a block, find another one, and then just like turn that one on. We were just grabbing all these scooters. Like it's not like washing our hands or like sanitizing our hands. There was one day where we all got like wings and shit. I'm convinced that's where I got sick. Like we scooted somewhere and I ate the wings with my hands, and my fate was sealed. But
yeah, that's such a common thing. Con flu. Yeah, everyone ends up getting sick. Yeah. Sucks.
Germs.
Just gotta be careful.
Germs everywhere.
Yes.
So kind of going back to your Instagram, I posted a second link. I was hoping you could check this out and kind of talk about it. Is this a throwback? So funny story, I bought a Digimon Tamagotchi like 3 months ago.
Oh, the Tamagotchi, yeah.
And bro, that thing is just so much work. I forgot. Like literally 3 a.m, the thing's buzzing and asking me to clean its poop. Are you kidding me? But tell me about this Tamagotchi, man. What's the story behind this picture or this post? Funnily
enough, that we had gotten Tamagotchis together as like our little virtual children. So they live on in memory now. My battery died and I have not replaced it, so it is in Tamagotchi heaven or Tamagotchi limbo.
Yeah, you don't know. Your Tamagotchi could have been a little bitch, you know, like could have been bad.
You never know. But yeah, I saw them and I instantly bought them because I was like, oh my god, like Tamagotchis, like we all had them when we were kids. Yeah, I remember when the Tamagotchis that had the little like once like they were on like version 3, version like V4, you could like they had the little red scanner thing in the front, and then you could like send your Tamagotchi to like someone else's, and then like they'd both be on screen on the other ones like playing game. Yeah, like they were like getting really, they were like doing a lot with that. And then I got older and like we stopped buying them. But I had like up to version 4. I remember having like something called Tamagotchi V4, literally. Yeah, it's a little throwback toy. I found in like a random deli, like a
deli of all places, huh?
Yeah, I was like, what? Well, I'll take 2, and I bought 2.
How about you, Faye? Have you messed around with Tamagotchi, or are you just familiar with it?
I'm familiar. I had one, but I could never really get it to grow up or anything.
How about you, Phil? You might be too young for Tamagotchi.
Oh, I had Tamagotchi.
Yeah, dude, he's too young.
I had that. What do you mean? I had Tamagotchi.
Like with the phone app or what? Like, did you have one of these keychains?
Man, I had those keychains. I'm gonna smack all y'all.
Have you seen it on TikTok or have you actually?
Hey, did you what other like throwback toy did you guys like that you guys can think of? Like for me, I know for sure like Furby was big for me.
Furbies were
like,
big.
Like you could take the batteries out and for some reason it would still talk. It was something else.
Those things are freaky as hell. I had
Furbies,
one of those.
Yeah, they're terrifying. They were like the PS5s. Like it was really hard to get them. Like there were a bunch of Karen moms going out like trying to get Furbies, like lining up at Toys R Us at 4 a.m. to get their kids a Furby.
Hell yeah. I got the Y2K model. It has a wizard hat, the year 2000. It's pretty sweet.
That's sick.
Tamagotchis are insane right now. They're in color.
Yeah. They're like they kept going. Tamagotchi never stopped. It's been evolving like this whole time, I guess.
Oh my gosh, I need to get a Tamagotchi now.
How about you guys that are watching? Do you guys like Tamagotchi? Do you have a Furby?
In the comments.
Did you
leave a comment? Tell us about your Tamagotchi Furby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or your moon shoes.
Or just like a retro toy that you remember growing up with that was sick at the time.
I don't know if I'm imagining this. is was there like a underwater Furby, but it was like a clam? Is that like something out of a nightmare? Like it was
I've
a
never
Furby.
heard of that.
It was like
That's
a
very
clam.
specific to where I don't think it's made up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like
it's got to be one of those like toys
It's gotta be
out there. Yeah.
something. That sounds
No, I've never heard of that before, man.
No,
It's
thank
nightmare
you.
fuel. Are you Googling it?
it's a thing. Google clam Furby.
Clam Furby? What?
Google clam
Okay.
Furby.
I'm doing it.
All right,
This
I
is-
gotta pull this
This is
up.
what? Yeah, I had this
More
orange.
research.
I literally had this orange one. Oh my god.
No,
Why-
no,
Shelby's. They were called Shelby's.
no.
Shelby's? Oh, it's hideous.
I'm not a
Cursed, yeah.
fan.
You had the orange one?
I literally had that orange one. That's like in the first or one of the results.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why were these
How much
famous?
are they worth?
What are they called? Furbies?
These were called
Shelby's.
Shelby.
Oh, Shelby's. Okay.
Was the
Shelby's.
underwater variant of a Furby, I guess. Yeah,
So,
why
Believe
were
that.
we with us as kids? Why did we like these? These are
I
like
don't
know.
know. They made a movie out
It's
of it too,
nightmare
didn't
fuel,
they?
dude. They made a Furby movie.
There's a
no
Furby.
way.
I'm pretty sure there's a Furby movie. It's like a really old movie.
Yeah, these are hella cursed.
They
I feel like
they're
'cause it
still
was the
making
first-
Furbies too. They got like LED eyes now. It's wild.
They were popular because they were the first toys to like talk to you and like interact with you. as, like,
Oh.
a
That, yeah,
kid.
like,
so I think
they
like
remembered conversations, right?
yeah, whoever designed it, not sure why they were hired as a toy designer, but
That is really freaky.
Right now, they're working on like the androids that will come out
Yeah.
in 2030 or something.
dude,
like
no joke, man.
on the
Come
next
back.
thing.
Yeah.
Some
It's probably a
Ex-Machina stuff.
Furby apps out there somewhere. It's terrifying.
God.
Nope.
I recently dug up my freaking Game Boy Advance SP. What a
Mhm.
solid handheld. So
Yeah.
good. I played it for like a few hours.
Yeah, I saw you post that on Twitter.
Yeah.
I was that dumb kid that, like back then it was hard to find out like if new consoles were coming out or like new
Mhm.
versions of the Game Boy. I bought a used Game Boy Advance like a week before the SP came out. And like
Yeah.
all my friends had like the sweet backlit screen. And here I am with like a magnifying glass with
Dude, I
a
had that
flashlight
setup too.
attached to it.
I had
Bro,
that
like
set up.
on long car rides, the magnifying glass almost fried my screen. It was like
Oh,
so
shit.
focused.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I
My
think that's why I have
gosh.
glasses. I messed up my vision with my Game Boy Advance because I would play like this. I
Seriously,
would have
yeah.
it, like, right there. Not good.
Same here. Like
Like
those.
Pokemon.
I
How
kind
about you,
of.
Faye? Did you like have a Game Boy or anything?
Yeah, I had a Game Boy Color. I wasn't really into the handheld. They never really caught my attention for a long time. I would just use it to like do something when I was supposed to be sleeping, but I was just playing Game Boy for like a little bit and then I would go to sleep. But like I never really got into the games because I didn't like the little screen. I'm not like I can't really focus for a very long time. That's why I like Nintendo Switch. I like it, but I'd rather
Yeah.
be playing on like a big screen, I'm just one of those like people.
Word up.
But
Mm.
I had a Game Boy Color and I had a Game Boy Advance. I had just like Sonic games and some Zelda games that I never really finished because again, they never really piqued my interest, sadly.
It's all good. I
You
feel
remember
that.
the colors?
Yeah. The color of the Game Boy?
Yeah.
Mine was purple. I had the purple like see-through one and then a
Oh,
pink
sick.
Game Boy Advanced.
I love that aesthetic.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah.
Like you can
It's
see
pretty dope.
the tech inside the device or something. Like they had
Yeah, very
GameCube
cool.
controllers that had that too. That you
Yeah, I
can see
have one of those. It's in one of
Ah,
those
yeah.
cubbies.
like the LED lights that just light up when you play or
Yeah.
something like that. It's just
You can get, like Joy-Cons like that too. I'm trying to cop some of those actually.
let's do
Yeah,
it.
on
really cool.
Etsy you can get you can replace the Switch cover with like a see-through translucent one.
Oh, that's
Pretty sleek.
dope. I need that.
Nice.
I got those Hori gamepad things just recently for Rise, and the ones I got are a little bit see-through, so they're kind of cool. You gotta
Oh,
really
that's
look
sick.
at it though.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Were there other games that you grew up with, Herny?
Yeah, funnily enough, my two used to be niche series were Monster Hunter and Fire Emblem. So I didn't know another
Ah.
person in real life who had heard of either of these games.
Okay.
So those are like my two like little personal treasures, and it's pretty interesting because they both kind of kind of hit that stride on the 3DS, like Fire Emblem got Awakening, and then Monster Hunter, like 3 did okay, but I think 4U was like the game, right? So it was cool to see that the 3DS kind of brought them both into the spotlight. But I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan, but I haven't tried Three Houses yet. You know, people keep like
Three Houses is good.
Yeah.
What do you do
you
in
should-
Fire
you should
Emblem
pick
games?
it up.
Like what
Imagine
are they?
like chess, but with like really attractive pieces.
Okay.
And you like you develop relationships with your beautiful chess pieces over time.
I will.
Sometimes there's like a time
player?
skip, or you can make chess pieces make love to each other for little chess pieces that you can use in the future.
Wow.
I will say I'll be the Fire Emblem boomer. It was not always about that. It was not.
Well, I mean, there were Fire Emblem characters all over Smash Brothers, so like
oh
that,
my gosh.
I had no
It's like
idea
half the
that-
rosters.
Yeah, I'm like, what the
characters
fuck is
now.
Fire Emblem? But I always thought
Yep.
the characters looked really cool. I was like, I want to play these games, but I just never did.
They're cool. They're cool. It's like a tactics type game.
Okay.
The relationships are always there, but it would just be like the camaraderie.
Side content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then Fates added like the skin ship thing. You can like rub their cheek, and I was like, "What is this? What is this?"
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't get it to the extent that Japan got it. They like literally nerfed skin ships.
Wow.
Yeah, like a character would come out of the shower and they'd be like, I'm really hot right now," and you can like blow on your screen to cool them down. And I'm like, "Word, is this what I'm doing to get this buff right now?" But I guess
Hell
so. And they
Same technology as Nintendogs, bro.
yeah.
Same stuff. I pet my waifus like I pet my dogs in Nintendogs.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I had no idea that's the type of game that was.
But the kids
No, I-
are really strong units.
Okay.
And like you want those kids. So like so I would like, I'm like, well, if it's in the game, fuck it. I would try hard. I had a spreadsheet of like who to marry to get the strongest kids, and like they inherit, like it's like Pokemon. Yeah, I was like, well, if
so
this, yeah, I'm like, if this is part of the game, I'm gonna use it to try. Yeah, I used to be super try hard with Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was my thing. But then Heroes felt a little weird. Like, it got like really fan servicey, and again, I'm the Fire Emblem boomer. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. So that's why I haven't tried Three Houses, because I see how it is.
Oh, okay.
But apparently, you can like ignore the stuff and play it all serious and hardcore, like if you want it that way. So
Interesting.
That's good.
Very
And-
My first Fire Emblem was Path of Radiance. What about you? What was your first one?
hell yeah, I played. Well, technically, yeah, I played the real name is Binding Blade. It's Fire Emblem 7, FE7, but it's the 7th one. But it was the first one we got here on the Game Boy Advance. It's with Roy's dad, Elwood.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I played the one with Roy because there was an emulator with like a really bad translation of it at the time. It's gotten a lot better, but I don't know what the hell was going on in the story. I was like, oh, this guy looks cool. I hope he's my friend. And then he's not, and he like kills me or something. But yeah, Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, so good. Ika's a homie.
Nice.
So, do you play like Final Fantasy Tactics as well? I mean, if you're into Fire Emblem, you ever mess around with those kind of games too? Or how about you, Faye or Phil?
You
guys can go first.
I had the only Final Fantasy played it was like 7 for a little bit. Like, I guess you want to call it like first disc or something, because I played it on when it was on Steam. So this is like recent when I played this. So I haven't really gotten into the Final Fantasy franchise, but I want to try and get into it. It seems like there's a lot.
It's a lot.
There's
Yeah. It can
Final
be,
Fantasy is tough to get into, I think. Well, I mean, unless you end up trying the games and you really like them. Like, my Final Fantasy experience is like the Kingdom Hearts games, kind of. I played all 3 of the main ones. I didn't play any of the Game Boy like side ones or whatever. And then I played the Final Fantasy VII remake demo. Thought it was dope. Played the remake a little bit and just kind of realized that Final Fantasy is just not for me. Oh, but I did play all of Final Fantasy 15, which is like not loved by a lot of people, but I ended up liking that one a lot, which is weird.
Word up.
But
There you go.
that's my experience with it.
Maybe you, Brian.
Yeah, man, I started. I mean, like in terms of tactic style games, there's like Ogre Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Word up.
Fire Emblem. There's Final Fantasy Tactics. Final Fantasy Tactics on the advance. I mean, I like it because like Fire Emblem introduced like a class system that was similar to Final Fantasy Tactics as well,
Yes.
and it was just like every playthrough was unique. And then of course, I mean, who doesn't like pinching cheeks on the waifu on the 3DS?
No, yeah. Fire, they got some clean character designs, like you can't deny. Like you could, they literally were just like, let's put these guys in Smash, and people had no idea who they were, but nobody questioned it because it was like, well, they look
They
cool
look
as hell.
awesome and they are fun to play. Exactly.
Mhm.
No, they knew what they were doing. But yeah, my Final Fantasy experience is weird. Like I honestly think I have the same relationship with Pokemon as well, if we want to go there. I think that their spin-offs are their better games. I think. Like Crystal Chronicles is mad fun.
I love that game.
Yeah, Crystal Chronicles is so fun.
Yeah.
Tactics is fun. The City is fun. Like I love me some mainline Final Fantasy games, but I have played all the spin-offs, which is kind of funny. Kingdom Hearts, I guess, if you want to go there as well.
Yeah.
But for Final Fantasy, I played 3, 7, and 9. So like some random ones that I happen to borrow. I've never owned a Final Fantasy game, but had a lot of friends who like had them. So I was like, all right, let me hit that up. Let me give it a try. But Final Fantasy, those kinds of games, they're not for everybody. Like some people, it's not their cup of tea, and I get it. But they have some really fun games. Quick tangent: Pokemon has some of the best spin-offs like ever, and if they would just not be so tied to their formula. I don't know why I'm getting so passionate about this, but like, yeah, like
we love it.
I don't know, like I want Game Freak to just make like an open world Pokemon game where you can pick like a class. You can be like a trainer or like a breeder or like a ranger, and then you just go out and just fucking catch shit. And like I know the tried and true formula, like we're all gonna keep buying the next games. Like I don't even play it. I don't even play Pokemon, and I bought Sword. And it's funny because the last like 3 Pokemons I've just gotten to like play with my partner at the time, not begrudgingly. Like, all right, I was, I'll get it because they're getting it. So I got Sun and Moon during that relationship. I got like Black and White during the same one pretty much, and then I got Sword and Shield. And then I realized I'm just getting them because like who I'm with is getting them. I'm like, do I enjoy these games? I got Let's Go for that reason.
Sure.
But yeah, like I don't know, the going to the gyms and all that stuff, that's cool and all. But I think like if we got like something really really different, it would be super cool. But also I love Mystery Dungeon and Pokesnap, and I thought Ranger was cool, and fucking Pokemon Pinball, and I think that's it. Yeah, they have mad fun spin-offs. I used to play all the spin-offs as a kid.
Like
I'm kind of heartbroken you didn't mention
Snap.
you didn't mention Hey You Pikachu. I'm really disappointed. That's like
Hey You Pikachu. I did have that as well.
Have you ever heard of that, Phil? Hey You Pikachu. This one might be too old for you.
Didn't they come with a custom N64 for Hey You Pikachu?
I have it. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the cheeks light up when you turn it on. It's dope.
What do you do in that game?
So Hey You Pikachu was a game on the N64 where you had a Pikachu, and it came with a mic attachment, and you would talk to your Pikachu, and it would do stuff.
That's real cute.
The Pikachu, like the technology just wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
So like I thought I was really funny and creative by calling my Pikachu a little shit. And it would shrug, right? It didn't know what was going on, but I thought I was the funniest guy.
That's cool. I never heard about that. That was really cool.
They should commission me to headline the next Pokemon game. I'll make it.
For real.
Like what they did with Breath of the Wild, kind of like just change the entire, just take that and change it. Everything.
Yeah, just go for it. That's Final Fantasy 15. When Final Fantasy 15 was announced, people were like, what is this open world Backstreet Boys fucking
loved it,
but it's a fantastic game, yeah. So
I really liked it. And I know that like when it first came out, it was very buggy. It was like very bad. So I didn't play it until a few years ago. So it had already been patched and polished and changed a lot. So, maybe if I had played it when it first came out, I might not have liked it because of all those reasons. So I'm kind of glad that I got into it after all that was fixed, and they added a bunch of DLCs, and some of it was a little rough to get through, but I actually finished it. So I think, if I didn't enjoy it that much, I wouldn't have, made it to the end and everything. And I don't know, I just thought it was a really dope game. But the remaster, the Final Fantasy VII remaster, did you guys play that?
I played the demo a little bit. That's about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think I told you before. I don't know if I said on the podcast, but literally the same day Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, I bought it and I was ready to play it. But then someone told me in my chat, they were like, "Bro, did you see SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom remaster came out?"
That.
I was like, priorities. Like, sorry, Final Fantasy VII, but you're only a third of a game. When I'm gonna be playing SpongeBob.
I don't blame you, dude. You're not missing out.
Hell yeah.
My entire follow list was just like Final Fantasy, and then I see Jitsu with like SpongeBob, and then Final Fantasy. I'm just like, what's happening?
That's amazing.
I went between stream, and I was just like, what? This is amazing. So I thought it was really funny. Oh my gosh.
So I played the original Pokemon Snap for the N64 a little bit. I remember renting it from like Blockbuster and playing it for a few days and then taking it back. So I never really, I didn't get too much into it, but I was watching YouTube and an ad for it came on a few days ago, and like the trailer actually made me tear up a little bit. It was a beautiful trailer for this game. Like, it looks very, very good. I'm so excited for it.
It's a long time coming.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be transported back.
It's gonna be such a fun game to like play in bed and just like relaxing and just yeah.
I think they're gonna use the gyroscope controls too on the Switch.
Oh fuck!
That'll be interesting.
But I'm sure you can turn that off if you don't use tilt controls.
Okay.
But dude, I can't wait to throw like 40 apples at a Pikachu again.
Oh hell yeah!
Knock it out with an apple.
Oh yeah.
I would get pissed. I was an angry kid.
I would never have gotten that from your.
Oh yeah. People who have known me a long time. Somebody sent me that Gara meme where it's like a pre-shipping in Gara and then him planting flowers. And I was like, that's you. Like the angry Gara, like Chunin Exams Gara is World of Warcraft, Henry. And then like, this is you now. And I'm like, it's so true. We can get into that later. But I used to get so angry trying to take a picture of Mew. Ooh, I don't know how I didn't break. I mean, I was a weak kid, so I couldn't break my controller. But if I could, I would have, man.
I was just going to ask if you guys took pictures of Mew.
The amount of work to unlock Mew was a ton.
It was hard, but I didn't know how to.
Did you ever go to Blockbuster to print your pictures out that you took from Snap?
I
put them on like this nice little reel. Yeah, like I hope there's a Switch print option.
That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Go to like Target or something.
Maybe through the Nintendo app, you can like save your pictures and print them out.
What's up with that, by the way? Like Nintendo Online, you need to download the app, and you can talk to people through the app.
Yeah,
playing online with it. Nintendo's so behind when it comes to that.
Yeah, they make fantastic games, but something's going on up there in some decision making.
I don't know.
Someone up there in the lab.
I mean, I think it's also because it's like there's a lot of. I think about probably the general audience. A lot of it is probably kids, so they're probably like trying to separate that. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
This is a random question before you guys ask me your next question. Do you all as content creators or streamers, do you ever feel a kind of pressure to play that new game when Cyberpunk was coming out? Did you feel I should stream Cyberpunk, hop in that wave to get that traffic? Do you feel any kind of pressure, or you're just like in your own lane?
Definitely. I'll start. And then you can kind of go. But yeah, I do. Especially because like Cyberpunk, for example, like people are asking me for like months, like, yo, are you going to play Cyberpunk when it comes out? And my answer was always, nope. And then it came out and I was like, I think I'm going to try. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that little voice is always there, and yeah, I do kind of feel pressured, even with, other games. It's just like, should I show my community this game? Are they I feel like, sometimes they're kind of counting on me to stream it and give them my reaction to it. So I think it definitely depends, but for the most part, yeah, I do. I do feel that.
What about you guys?
Okay. I don't know. I guess it's a little different sometimes. Like,
Okay.
do you wait until for a while, or do you stream it right away? Because just like
Right.
it's a lot of people. You're gonna be like drowned out in that feed of people. You're not gonna get recognized at all. But I don't know. I guess like when it comes to like Monster Hunter content, I'm on top of that. But when it comes to like other like newer games and everything, I'm not exactly on top of it.
Right,
What
right.
if it's a game that you are really looking forward to that is going to be like a popular game? Like, are you gonna...
For YouTube stuff, yeah, I'll be right on top of it. Like that's like, I feel like that's different between Twitch and YouTube. Is like I'll be definitely on top of it with YouTube, but then with Twitch and everything, it's like,
Okay.
I don't know. Twitch is weird.
Yeah.
I wish I was
like
that way.
Like you said, you kind of will. There's going to be a lot of people in the directory. How are people going to recognize you and see you? And
Mhm.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Jitsu. I'm
Yeah,
picking your
man.
brain.
Yeah, you can call me Jitsu or Brian or Brian Jitsu. I don't. Honestly, I think it comes down to what type of genre you host on your streams,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
There's
Sure.
a term variety streaming, but I mean, there's like competitive shooters, right? Like, or are you known as a PvE content creator, or are you known for storytelling games? For
Word
me, man, I'm the type of person now, like in the last 3 years, I don't like to play games if I'm not streaming. So it's really hard because
I'm
like there's a
getting there
lot of
too.
games.
Mhm.
There's a lot of games I want to play, right? And I know it's not gonna do well on my stream, but
Mhm.
like when am I ever gonna be able to touch this game? And
Yeah.
it's like just trying to I feel like in a way it's just like learning to respect yourself in a way. Like I don't
Word up.
want to like, dude, I get it, right? Like the audience is there for it, but bro, like the thing I think people should also look into is like give Monster Hunter Rise as an example. Like I know people are expecting me to play a lot of it, but I'll be honest with you, like there's real burnout for me still, and I like there's that conscious mind that you should probably be playing this. It's gonna be best for your channel, but man, like my
Word.
health comes first lately, and
Yeah.
I just like I said with Rise, I enjoy it, but I just don't see myself grinding it as much as I did with World.
Word up.
But there's just like that level of I don't even want to call it self-respect. It's just how do you want to guide your content and what expectations do you want to lay within your community,
Mhm.
right? And like what is acceptable for you? Because like, you know, of course if you're gonna try and ride the wave on something that's growing, are you okay accepting that maybe your community isn't gonna be there anymore?
Right.
True.
Like there's that term, people are there to watch you for you, but I'm gonna be honest with you, that's not 100% true.
Yeah, not always.
People are there to watch the type
The
of
game.
game
Yeah.
and there's always that thought in the back of your mind that if I don't stream this person's just gonna move on and find someone that is actively playing it in that community. So there's a lot of things that you just have to kind of overcome, and I don't necessarily have the right answer to it, right? Like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not
I wanted to ask
what I'm
that
doing might
for
not
that
be
ripple in the
successful,
water.
but
Mhm.
dude, it's like I just hate the thought that I'm forcing myself to play something because I know it's going to do well for me on Twitch and you know most of my community is going to enjoy it. But there's shit I want to do, but it's just understanding the risks that you're taking and being able to accept it. So that's like my 2 cents on it.
I think
Word up.
that you pointed out that I want to touch on really quick. The when you mentioned the like it depends on what kind of community you're building up, like how you interact with your chat. I feel like that's a really big point too. Like if a new Call of Duty came out, I probably would not play it on stream. Like that, I definitely feel like my community is not into the FPS shooter type stuff. I feel like for myself at least, I build up like a very anime kind of community.
Yeah.
Like Soulsborne games always work if you play Monster Hunter. And then I've been playing a lot of Genshin. Like a lot of my audience is still there, and so it's depending on what audience you build up.
Yeah, I didn't think of the whole genre aspect of it too that you brought up. Like, you know, if there's a new shooter game that looks really dope to you, is that really something you can stream? You know, and again, you don't want to play games off stream because you kind of feel guilty for enjoying something and not sharing it with your community. So it's like there's a bunch of games that I haven't tried that I know I probably would have liked, but I don't really have the time or the motivation to play games off stream, you know, because I'm doing other things. And you know, yeah.
I've been reading manga. That's important to me.
Yo, I've been reading so much. Well, I can't wait for us to get to that part of the podcast because I've been reading so much. But yeah, I wanted to ask you that because like I've been in such a weird, and I think, I mean, Brian, what you said, like I think it's a weird pressure. Like I can't tell you how many times I've done a session of gaming and said to myself after, like, oh, I should have just streamed this, you know. But then it would have been different because in that moment I was like just having fun for me. And it's not that I don't have fun stream, but right, you guys, like, there's a difference. Like,
absolutely.
You can stream for your community, and like my community, like I can name my stream like face reveal, and then my stream the whole time is making jokes like, wow, like I never, like I love my community, like I can make a stupid ass joke like that, and like they're all with it.
I probably will steal that.
yeah. I was like, because I had the fucking key lights and the.
Okay, I see what you mean.
I fixed my camera settings so it's like you can see what I look like.
Actual face reveal, yeah.
Yeah. And I love them, and streaming is super chill. But even then, there's like a difference between playing games for you. And I was talking to my friend about this. I can't remember the last time I played a game just for me was Battle Network on my Game Boy Advance, because every time I'm playing games, I'm like, well, I might as well stream this, or like, oh, let me record some footage for video, or like, how can I turn, like, and it's weird, and I kind of like, there's that businessy aspect in all of our heads that are thinking of that, but like it gets to a point where it's like there's that, and it's just like, well, am I taking care of myself? Am I doing something I enjoy and stuff like that? And it's so weird because like it never really goes away. Like no matter how chill kind of environment you create, it's like always there. It's so weird. One thing that I started doing in 2019 was I turned my viewer count off, and I unsubscribed from the Streamlabs and the Twitch email after a stream that shows you your analytics. I turned that off because like I would get like really hyper aware of that, or like self-conscious. Like one time I said a joke on stream, and then my viewer count went from like 180 to 179, and I'm like, oh my god, that one person was offended by the joke. Oh my god. And that's too much, right? Like you can't do that to yourself. So I was like, you know what, I turned it off, and I haven't looked back since. Like I turned off the emails, and I just don't look at numbers of any kind. And I kind of gave this analogy to a friend of mine, and that's why my Discord is named The Void. I kind of have this idea of the things that I do, like the reason why I make stuff. Like, and you're all creative people, so maybe you could relate. And I was doing some reading for therapy. We're getting there. And it was about why creative people are the most depressed. And basically, like, it's a bunch of reasons, but to like hardcore paraphrase, basically, like, if we're not creating, we feel like we're dying, quite literally, and like in some sense of the word. And so like that's the real reason we do it. Like we'll think about money or we'll think about growth, but like we do it because we want to do it. And if we're not doing it, a part of us is being unfulfilled. And like when like this year, something I really asked myself is like, you know, what am I trying to get out of this? Like, why am I doing all of this really? And then I realized that some days I don't really care like who listens to my music or who watches a video, but like I want to be able to play that video just here on my monitor, like alone in my room, and like just laugh at my own joke. Like, all right, that was pretty good. Good one. Or like, all right, like that little edit was pretty funny. Or like this song was good. And so my analogy to my friend was that I picture myself in like this void, and there's a black hole, and then I just create things, and then I just throw it into the black hole, and then every now and then I get a letter back from the black hole, and that's a comment, and that's like, hey, I really like that thing you threw in here. And that's the way I see it. Like I barely read comments, and like I don't look at numbers, and I just, for me, I like it's almost like not there. I make my video and I say my stupid jokes and I do my edits and I make my music and use it as the background of my videos, because if I don't, I will like drown in my own sorrow.
That's actually like really motivating to hear in a way, because like it just kind of forces you to do things for you and to, you know, get out of, you know, feeling paranoid about your numbers coming in and stuff. Like I get those emails, but I don't check them because it's, you know, I'm going to get down no matter how good of a day I may have had like that day. Like I could hit stop streaming and be like, yeah, that was a good day today. And then I'll get that email and I'll be like, nope, I'm not touching that, you know?
How fucked is it that in this world that you could have a stream where 200 people watch you, and then your next stream you can have 180 people watch. 180 people, that's a fucking school right there. You know how awesome.
Wondering what you did wrong.
Your brain's gonna be like, oh,
people there.
Exactly. Yeah. Your brain's gonna be like, oh, I'm down 15%. Like how fucked is that? You know, like our brain's gonna do that because like that's the fucking, we live in a society that, you know, think about that stuff.
Imagine living in a society.
It's crazy. We really we do be living in it. But yeah, so that's like for me, like, see, you get the emails and you don't look. I have no self-control. I see that email and I'm just like, okay, let's see how I did. I can't. So for me, I had to like cold turkey stop all of that so I could keep enjoying it, because
and now I want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sharing it. Perhaps you guys can try and see how you feel, but it has made streaming so much more enjoyable. Like one day I'll stream Monster Hunter, and I'm sure like that's what gets me the most views. But one day, you know, I fucking feeling Dead by Daylight. What do they have in common? They're like the randomest things, but you know, it's what I want to play, and I'll just go for it. Yeah. And then if that email is still there, obviously it's going to be like half of the views or something. Yeah. And well, I don't know about it, so it can't hurt me, you know. So there you go. But yeah, it could be something you guys could try. It's definitely something that has helped me a lot. Like depression and perfectionism is a horrible combo. And one thing I found out in therapy is that I'm a perfectionist, and I was like, okay, that kind of checks out. And perfectionism is not like, you know, like, oh, I gotta have my pencil angled this way. It's not like
not OCD.
Yeah, but you can have perfectionism in weird, like it'll manifest in very strange ways. Like perfectionism can be like you're in this podcast and you do some banter, and then while everyone is talking, you're in your head being like, was that banter good enough? Maybe I could have said that different. Like you could.
Wow, I didn't know that that's what perfectionism was.
Yeah, that could be like a way that it matters.
Yeah, that's
like it could be a way, like you could be a perfectionist of like the version of yourself that you think you should be, and that's that's a really dangerous one, because you could like,
that's relatable.
Well, you set like these expectations, and I feel like in a way you know you're capable of it, but like sometimes you just get too critical on yourself if you feel like it wasn't good enough. Where
for sure,
like that's the term, good enough, right? Like that's, I feel like I feel like I'm a perfectionist in a way. I set really high standards and expectations, and like for most people, you know, if I do something, like most people would love it and they'd be satisfied with it. But for me, you know, it's like trying to drop that ego and just say, you know, like, look, you've done enough, instead of like, but it's like trying to find that happy medium for that too.
Sure.
Definitely. Speaking of therapy though, like I need to look into that myself. I haven't gotten into it. I've always been scared to kind of like figure out what it is that I'm going through. But I've been doing little things to kind of help myself. I got like a calendar to kind of like write things down. This is what I'm doing. I just got a journal today that I'm gonna write down like things I did that day, kind of just like organize my life a little bit more and just be like, you are accomplishing little things.
I like that a lot. I think therapy is scary sometimes because like, you know, you have to open up a little bit. I think that's like, I've never been to therapy, but I've thought about it, and that's what I have as an image of like what therapy is to me. It's just going and just opening up to somebody, and it's like, oh my god, I can't do that.
Scary as hell.
Yeah.
From what I've heard,
I can't tell this person all my deep dark secrets. You know,
I imagine you can tell us about your experience probably, but from what I've heard, like from a lot of people, like if you have a chance to get a session or get into therapy and everything, really take that, because if you feel like you're going through a lot of things, then it's
and
really
to
good.
add on to that, it doesn't even have to. Maybe you're not going through anything. Honestly, I think it's just a good like going to therapy is just providing a space for you to talk about whatever you want to without feeling judged, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you get a perspective from someone that's listening that has no affiliation with you. You know, they're it's not even like they're looking for your best interest. It's just this is how they hear it, and they're transcribing it back to you.
Definitely.
And so there's that benefit there too. And for me, when it comes to like self-help and therapy, I have that old mentality, you know, and maybe it's just like my upbringing with like having my mom beat down on me and say like, you don't need therapy, you know, just deal with your problems, you know, just bite your lip and go through it, or like you don't need medication. Like,
can I
those
ask
are for people that need it. What's
your nationality or your ethnicity?
Oh hell yeah, dude! I'm Spanish, like half Spanish and half Vietnamese.
Oh, okay, yeah, dude. As a
fellow
Utah.
Utah.
Dude, as a fellow Latino, our Latino families, they don't believe like mental health. What's that? Like, you know, man up, right? Just feel better. Like, you know, it's like there's still like a huge stigma to it. It's definitely gotten a lot easier to like talk about that and get some resources, like and get the help you need. But it's tough. It's tough if you're not even in a space where you got the support to even do it. But even then, like even once you have people around you who care about you, it's still hard, and it's got to be you. I can say it. I've probably needed therapy. Oh man, maybe my whole life. But I probably realized I needed therapy. I should have gotten therapy in 2016, but I didn't think I needed it. And then in 2018, I was like, I definitely needed it, but was like really stubborn and didn't do it. So, but I always say, I'll tell you this much, because again, my brain is a great pal. No, you know, I can't say that ironically because my brain's on my side now. But as soon as I started going to therapy, the first thing I said to myself was like, "Oh, you idiot! Look how good you're doing. You could have been doing this good in 2018. You could have been like, I couldn't even like celebrate my growth without comparing, like without being like, oh, see, look how good you're doing. You could have been doing like, but that's okay. Like, you know, we're growing, experience things in different ways. But the way I think about it is this: like, I wasn't in a place where I would have been receptive to therapy anyway in 2016 or 2018, because like you can go to it, you know, begrudgingly, or like, you know, you can be put in it maybe against your will, and I don't think that's gonna work, right? People don't change when they want to change, they change when they have to change. And like, yeah, like when you're ready for it, like you'll kind of know. I know that's like sounds cliche, but
no,
like
you're right.
like when it like 2020 was like, okay, I'm tired of feeling this way about certain things. I really need to fucking change something, because I cannot continue living like this. There's some kind of truth in when you say stuff like, oh, I can't live with myself kind of stuff, or like I hate myself.
Sure.
Something I read about, like, you don't really hate yourself. Like, we're all very egotistical and like selfish like human beings.
Right.
Like nobody really hates themselves, but what you do hate is like a pattern of your behaviors, right?
Yes.
And we kind of trick ourselves into thinking, well, like, oh, this is the way I am, you know, but this is what Brian's like, you know, you know, this is what Phil's like, this is what Henry's like, but that's not true. So the first thing you got to do is convince yourself, well, you can change, and we got to want to change, but you can change, and you're not stuck in your ways. You might feel stuck in like these set patterns of behavior, and that's what you hate. And you hate that you continue to hurt yourself, or you hate that you continue to repeat, because a lot of people, when you're in like these cycles of trauma, you keep repeating because it's familiar, and we repeat things that are familiar, so we keep hurting ourselves because it's familiar. It's really shitty. Like when your tooth hurts and your tongue keeps going over there, it's like, why? It hurts.
Makes so much sense. Yeah.
So you gotta, like, the first thing you do is realize that you can break that chain, and then get in there. And then that's when the hard part starts, because you start asking yourself some really hard questions, and you got to talk to some old versions of yourself Like you
Mhm.
gotta ask yourself.
Yeah, you got to reach down. Yep.
I'll shut up now. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
No,
No.
you're fine. And like I think
No, it's just
the
hit me
hardest thing
hard.
for
Sorry.
most people
Mhm.
is like if you are looking to get help, the hardest part is being consistent about it. Like
Mhm.
maybe you have like 2 or 3 good sessions, and then the next session you feel like you've done enough.
I'm good,
I don't
yeah.
think there's ever a good stopping point on self-help
no.
and self-improvement. So
Yeah.
No.
like maybe you feel like you got out of that rut, which
Mhm.
caused you to go to therapy. I think once you're there, instead of looking at repairing, look at what you can do to improve and make things better.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
like if you do get your hands on therapy, continue going to therapy. Don't be stubborn.
Word up. Word up.
Don't be like me. Just go through it. It's okay.
Don't even say stuff like "Don't be like me, man." Yeah, the fact that you recognize that's already awareness right there. That's the first step. Some people don't even realize they don't even get to where you are ever in their whole life, you know. But word up, yeah. Anyone in the comments, like it's gotten a bit easier in a weird way because like everyone's anxiety is like through the roof because of the pandemic. So
Yeah.
a lot of insurance companies are going to be a bit, you know, they'll be more likely to help. More clinics are more likely to maybe accept insurances that maybe they didn't, or maybe do like some kind of payment, like, you know, $60 a session. It's pricey, but if you're really going through it, probably one of the best decisions of my life, probably one of the best decisions of last year. And people tell me all the time, like, oh, like you feel like you're doing better.
Oh, really?
But I always respond like I am, but I'm like still in it, you know, like I'm still battling. Like it doesn't really like well, me and my friend have this joke that we're both in our time skips right now. And I'm really excited for like 27-year-old Henry, maybe 28-year-old Henry. I think like there's like I'm working on myself right now, but I'm in a place where I know this is not where I want to be. I'm not done, but I'm not beating myself up for not being where or how or who I want to be yet. I recognize that it's a process, right? You know, we're all growing, and that's why I call it my time skip. And
That's funny.
I'm super excited to see where, you know, next year Henry's at.
Yeah.
I like that. That's really inspiring.
I think
I
you'll find
remember-
yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I remember I have this very distinct memory when I was in 8th grade. I was in my basement playing Kingdom Hearts on the PlayStation 2. I was borrowing my friend's PlayStation 2. And I was like very angsty, depressed kid. And I remember my mom was trying her best to force me into therapy. And I just wasn't ready. I didn't want to admit, no, I'm not depressed. I'm fine. I'm not depressed. I had that in my head, like my fucking ego, you know, my 8th grade emo kid, you know, ego. I'm fine. I don't need therapy. And she was on the phone. Like I was supposed to go to a therapist that day, but I was in the basement playing Kingdom Hearts, and she was just shouting at me from the top of the stairs, like, we got to go. Like, your appointment is now. And I was like, nope, I'm not going. I refused to go. And then the woman called and was like, you know, is everything okay? And I could just hear my mom, like, I just can't get her to go. I just can't get her to go. And then like, there's always this part of me that thinks about that day often. Like my mom really tried her best.
It's a detailed memory right there.
Yes. Yes. I just wasn't ready, dude. But like, I can't help but think, what if I went?
Yeah, but you can't. But also, you can't. Don't think about that too much.
Yeah,
like
don't
you can.
dwell on it.
You can. Like you can experience that thought. Like you can acknowledge it, but don't go down that rabbit hole, because
sure.
You're just, like at the bottom of that is just more pain. Like
yes.
Who knows? You know, who knows what would have happened? It could have been. It could have been more traumatizing though, because a lot of people go into therapists. And then like the therapist is not not compatible. I had a friend who went to therapy, and like the therapist like blamed them for something that like happened with their family. Like it could have completely backfired, and everything could have been fucked. Yeah,
that's true. I got to remember, everything kind of happens for a reason, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like don't dwell on it, you know. Like look at how great of a person you are now, and if you did go through therapy, you know, what kind of person would you have been then? Maybe we would have never met. So you just got to like count your blessings, even though maybe these blessings are just sharp turns, right? But in the end, you're still alive. You still have loving people that support you. It's so much easier to say that than to actually listen to your own advice. I'll be honest, like I'm really good at motivating and really good at being positive for people, but I'm the worst person to myself. And
Ooh.
like I think like
Relatable.
being self-aware about that is good, but my problem is like developing a positive cycle, because I feel like and I think it's okay, you know, like I put myself in this like right positive mindset, and then you know you take 10 steps forward, but next thing you know you relapse.
Yeah.
And at that point I think it's just like that's where you're really testing yourself to see if you can dig yourself back out, like instead of just succumbing to it and just accepting who that type of person is, because deep down you know you're a lot better than that. It's just like learning to accept it and be okay with starting over. But that's a big step for most people, and I mean I'll be honest, I'm still struggling with that every day.
Yeah.
So
it's like a continuous thing too. Yeah. I shared I retweeted it on Twitter and I put it on Instagram. I think I got all three of you on Instagram, I think. It's it's the I'm forgetting his name, but it's the actor, and he's talking about being your own best friend. You guys see that clip? Yeah, that's such a good video.
So.
Yeah, I'll
retweet
every time I see it, I like retweet it. But yeah, like being kind to yourself, being kind to yourself, and like taking your own advice is so hard. But that's why writing is so good. And I'll get to that in a second. I read this like thing about toxic positivity, and I realized that that was me. Like I'll try and find like this little like mini article about toxic positivity and like what it is. But I realized I was kind of like that too. Like 2 years ago, I used to like put like mental health in my stream and give advice. Like who the fuck was I to be giving any kind of advice? I was doing horrible at the time, but I was like trying to like drown it out.
To people.
Like, and like it was like so fake. And I look back on it, and you know, I don't beat myself up. That's where I was at the time. It was a coping mechanism. But like it was not good, and I wasn't taking care of myself at all. I was giving advice about therapy. I wasn't even in therapy. Like, what, you fake bastard? But it's okay. So like I look back on that now and I laugh. Exactly. But I look back on that now and I'm just like, oh yeah, I was like so fake positive. Like what is that? Like we kind of do that, and like one thing we really do is we give advice and then we don't take it. So one thing that's really good is writing, and like if you kind of write it as if you're like telling someone else to do a thing or something, like you'll kind of like absorb it more. You got that's something that helps for me, because I give advice a lot, but I don't often take my own advice. So I usually I'll type like a big old thing into my notes. Some of those I've shared on Twitter, or like sometimes I'll just write it and then like leave it alone instead of posting it somewhere, because sometimes like, you know, it's good to share stuff, but I don't think you have to share too much. Be careful with that. And then like, you know, go back and read it later as if it was like a letter to someone else. And then like I don't know why, but at least for me, right, everyone's different. Like my brain will read it and be like, oh word, that's good advice, Herny, from 30 minutes ago. I'm gonna try that. And then like but yeah,
that's really interesting.
That was nice.
That's really interesting.
So you did a lot of mentioning of reading and writing, right, bro? I wanna dive into that a little bit more. So 2020, it's been a whole month now. We started 2021. You mentioned a lot of reading and writing. Is that kind of like your New Year's resolution, or like what do you mean exactly by you doing a lot more reading and writing these days?
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, I don't have a New Year's resolution. Because, and it's gonna sound OD, but like even a New Year's resolution is an expectation, and expectations are your enemy, people in the comments. And I know that sounds funny, but like, so here's the way I think about it. I'll get to the reading and writing in a second, but expectations. If you create expectations, like two things can happen. You can either like go even or lose, right? If you say like, all right, well, if you like, all right, I expect this video to do well. If the video does well, then you're like, all right, good, should have done well, right? Like you're like, all right, like neutral. And if it doesn't do well, now you're bummed. Like you're just upset because like you created this this mental fallacy that like could or could not have happened. Like there's no need.
Yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
things I'm worried about with that right now. Like I'm working on a video right now. My editor's helping out with it, and I'm like, it's a very different. Like it's not a reaction video or anything. It's not like a.
Okay.
But it's very different from the stuff I usually make. So I'm like kind of worried on how I'll do.
But do you like it? Are you having fun with it?
Like,
Is it your
yeah.
passion?
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah.
like, put some perspective on it. Like,
That's all you need.
like, look what you've done. Like, you got out of your comfort zone and you were able to produce something that you're proud of, right? Like, I agree with you to an extent, Herny, but at the same time, bro, like, I think it's fine to have goals and resolutions.
Oh yes,
like-
yeah.
But I think maybe that's where you're leading up to. But like,
Mhm.
for me, when I hear New Year's resolutions, I think most people overlook or never think about setting smaller goals. Like
Yeah.
we always set
Okay.
these large goals, and maybe if everything lined up correctly, we would be able to hit those goals. But doing
Mhm.
something as small as like read a book a month, and
Oh, for sure,
and
yeah.
maybe if you don't read a book that month, you know, there's something you can think of instead of beating yourself down. Kind of put in more of a positive spin on it. Like, I'll just
Definitely.
read 2 books next month, or like I don't know. I'm at the point now where I'm really trying to avoid making excuses, and I'm setting small, reasonable goals that I know I'm not gonna end up hurting myself over.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that. Yeah, I guess you're right, and thank you for checking me on that. It's not like expectations. Maybe like expectations as we have come to like curate them in the way we think about things can be
I see what
detrimental.
you're saying. Yeah.
But,
Healthy
like,
expectations,
and
not
even on a
like.
more personal level too. Oh, what's up?
I was saying like healthy expectations, not like.
Yeah.
That
Like one thing
there's-
that I was reading and the book is just called Awareness, and
Wokeness.
I'm listening to it. Hop on Audible. Sponsor
I
all
need
4
to.
people right here. Audible. Like I can, I mean, I read so fucking slow. I'm pretty sure I have ADHD, but that's a whole other
I've
thing.
been getting into audiobooks lately. To and
You'd
from
be
work.
surprised, man. Like,
So
yeah,
nice.
like
Yeah,
I just got diagnosed with that
yeah,
a
I
year
read
ago.
fucking slow, and then I'll reread the same line. It's so frustrating, but I can
I'm-
listen just fine. So I've been listening. I've been listening to the book, but they talk about like there's a way you can recontextualize your expectations, right? So if I say, and I gave this example on stream. So like, let's say it's a new year, and I recently renewed my subscription to the gym. They seem kind of safe now with COVID and stuff. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, get back in there. So like, let's say I'm like, all right, well, I want to put on like 30 pounds of muscle, and I want to like look fit. Realistic goal, right? To most of you, it might sound like a realistic goal, but we don't know what happened. I don't know if my body is going to be very receptive to this diet. I don't know if I'm going to put on the muscle in the way that I envision. Something might happen in the gym. The gym could close again because COVID gets
might
worse,
end
right?
up hurting yourself.
And then I
you know?
set that expectation, and now I'm sad about something that hasn't happened yet or didn't happen. I'm sad about a thing that I created. But if my goal is I want to be comfortable with my body, can't really fail that, right? Because that's like it's just you. It's like the way it's like your own. It's not like there's no it's not like a limit or like a thing that you reach. It's just like a state of mind. And if my goal is to just be comfortable with my body, then I got all the time in the world, and I don't really have these deadlines. Like even if you don't give yourself a deadline, you still do if you say like, oh, I'm trying to look like this or I'm trying to do this thing. But if you're like, hey, I'm just trying to be comfortable with my body, I want to like feel confident when I look in the mirror. I want to watch my own videos and enjoy them. I want to like that's something that's my goal with YouTube, right? Like I just want to like my own videos. That's it.
Wow.
That's my goal. And that's the kind of videos I'm going to make. What genre, what kind of video is that? I don't know. But I want to make sure that as I'm editing and I'm hitting render, I'm happy with that product. And like whatever that entails in that process, whether it makes maybe my video, like right now, my videos, they're all going to be short. I'm not going to make 10-minute videos for a while because once I would be done with a 10-minute video, I'd be so exhausted, and then I would hate YouTube for a month. And then that video took me a month to make, so that's why there's like 2-month gaps between my videos. So it's a whole fucking process.
Right.
But yeah, one thing that I think you can do is recontextualize your expectations of yourself, recontextualize your goals. And like the thing about putting on 30 pounds of muscle, that actually kind of seems like a lot, but now that I'm learning more about muscle mass and weight gain, but you get the idea. Like change the way you have like built it up in your head, so that like there isn't like this unseen pressure behind you, and instead it's just something that you're doing rather than like a thing that's being done to you. That's a thing that you can practice like in meditation as well, where you start to feel that you are, things that happen in life is you are doing them rather that they are being done to you. When you feel that things are being done to you, you start to take a lot of stuff personally, and your ego starts to really internalize it, and you get upset a lot easier. But when you kind of start to get rid of that, and like I'm on my way there, I haven't mastered it, I'm not levitating off the ground just yet, but if you can practice that, like kind of like just view things on your own terms, not control, right? Because control is dangerous. You can do a lot of shitty things to yourself in the name of control. And like content warning, topic warning, like a big reason people attempt to take their own life is control. And one thing that I dived into in therapy, because I didn't ask myself those questions, a big reason why I attempted was control. And I didn't really realize that. You don't really think that's a thing, but like when like just everything is terrible, you're like, well, at least I'm doing this, right? Like at least this is my thing. Yeah. And like, so I don't mean in the sense of control, because control can also be a dangerous thing, but rather like it's on your own terms, but also like you're kind of cool with whatever happens. Like it's just doing. I know that's like 3 little mini TED Talks in one, but yeah, it's more like recontextualizing your expectations, or recontextualizing how you envision your goals, because we associate a lot of goals with happiness, right? We associate a lot of productivity with happiness, productivity with self-worth, which is also really dangerous, and I'm sure we can all relate to that. But the reason we all relate to that is because, again, we live in a society that like makes us link those two things together. So if you can kind of,
we fucking do though.
Yeah, if you can like rethink the way in your minds why you do certain things, or why you're doing them, and like what you're trying to attain, or like not even like attain, man, like even that word, like I know I'm fucking sounding all weird third eye and shit, but like even if you envision it like that, like don't even think about like you're trying to like get anywhere, rather just like you're here now, right? The only thing that matters right now is like the immediate now, the present. And like if you like just really lend yourself to the present, then you will accomplish that thing you're trying to do. And it's weird because like sometimes I'm like, okay, Henry, be present so you could get a lot of views on this video, and then I'm lying to myself, like you can't do that either. But like I've realized that some of my best streams, some of my best music, some of my best videos is when I was there when I was making it, and then I wasn't thinking about that thing later on that doesn't exist, right? It doesn't exist. It might not even happen.
That's true.
But like you live so much in the future that like that's what happens. Phil, what were you gonna say?
Gotta appreciate what you have, and it's all about perspective, really. So Phil, I mean, I get what you're doing, but I mean, you're not losing anything for making that video. You know what I mean? Like
that's fantastic. Yeah,
I feel
that risk that you're taking, it's not hurting anybody, and it's like something you're really proud of, and something you want to share with everybody. Like you should look at it like that, instead of it's not what my normal videos are. I'm probably not going to get as many views, or like I wouldn't even sweat it. Like you had a lot of fun, you took a risk, you tried something. What if you didn't get that many views? It didn't hurt anybody. No, like you found out maybe that formula doesn't work, so you go back to the drawing board. But don't dwell on it. Like it's okay to mess up. It's okay to make mistakes,
and you can be
proud
of what you made. Like you can. Like, even if it's not successful, you can still be like, yeah, but I love doing that shit. I love making that video.
Yeah, no, that's in terms of like content on YouTube and everything, I love like a lot of the stuff that I've done, and I'm excited. I'm always excited to like for a new idea and everything. But there's always going to be that one thing where it's just like, what if it doesn't do well? But I do agree with you guys where it's just like, well, if it doesn't do well, then oh well. Like work on the next thing. Try something new. We'll see what didn't work on that, then build off from that. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing I need to really learn how to do myself is, I feel like I'm always stuck in the past myself with a few things.
Be present, man.
No, I know.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah, no, there's. I'll probably talk about this off podcast, but there's been a few things in the past that is hard to get out of.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I just want to throw out there. I mean, thanks Henry for being transparent and feeling comfortable enough to open up about that kind of stuff, because
For sure.
you know there's always that thought that you might be hurting yourself more talking about your personal issues, but I'm kind of the same. I'm very like transparent and very, very open about everything I go through. So that's just respect from me to you, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I wasn't always there. If anyone ends up watching this video, or you guys, I was a closed ass book.
I
but
I feel like it's a huge tip that people could take for streaming or content creators in general, like especially when you're streaming, is to focus on the now instead of focusing on like before or focusing on like after, because like I feel like the best streams come from when you're focusing on the now, because there's always going to be that one streamer just like I was going to do this but I decided to stream this game instead. Why to do that? Or I was my numbers are going to be low after this stream probably, or something.
Yeah, I want to touch on that too, because like you could be having a great stream and then you say something and then one person in your chat says something that just brings you down immediately in that moment. And up until that very moment you're having a great day, and then I've been kind of stuck in this realm where I'm taking a lot of stuff personally right now, and I shouldn't, and I know I shouldn't be, but I'll be having a great day and then someone says something, maybe they didn't mean it personally, but I take it personally, and then my mood is done for the day. I'm done, at least for the rest of the stream. I'll try my best to pick myself back up, but I'm like, there's that comment is just like repeating in the back of my mind, and I'm trying to get out of it. And especially if I'm only 2 hours into my stream, I've got another 4 hours to go where I need to try and move past what that person just said. And it's like, a lot of the times it's tough, and I could just be scrolling through Twitter and read someone's tweet and take it personally, and it's not even aimed at me. Like it's so tough to get out of that.
I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't fixed that problem. I take things way too personal.
It's tough.
I think it's maybe it's just the type of person you are too. I would say I'm an empath, right? Like I'm very emotional, and I think that's okay. But like for me, I'll just throw an example out there. Like at the time, like maybe I'm streaming something and then like the thought that's in the back of my mind is like, you have your community and they're like, I'm here to watch you for whatever, but you're out here trying something and it's not true, right? Because they're not there. But there's so many like factors that tie into it. It's just at the time you're just thinking it's because I'm playing this game, but literally I don't know if that person, like, they have a life, like it's not just Twitch. So it's just hard to really break out of that mindset. And the first thing we always do when we find something wrong or something's just not adding up is we always look at the negative things first, right?
Definitely.
But I don't know. I'm still working on it. I take things way too personal. I'm too emotional of a person.
And I wish I wouldn't, because like if I had just, like you guys are saying, just enjoy the present moment, and like, because essentially what, like, if one person says something that sticks with me, I'm kind of going backwards, and I'm like not focusing on the fun that I'm having right now and how fun that my community is having. It's not just me, it's my community. It's like I'm bringing everyone down because I'm beating myself up about something stupid.
out of one person in your entire chat that mentioned that.
Out
you
of
know, like,
one person who, you
Yeah.
know, might even just be someone new to the stream.
Yeah, right.
I'll give you an example just because I was playing Demon Souls Remake the other day and I finally got to one of my favorite areas, and I was talking about how cool it looked. I'm like, oh, this area is so nice. Like, I love being here. This is dope. And I died and I like got mad. And some person was like, oh, I thought you loved this area. I thought this was your favorite. Like, oh, like what? Like, I died and I got mad because I died. Does that totally negate everything that I was just saying? And it just killed me. But it like, you guys are probably thinking, well, that's just a stupid little thing to get upset about. But it really affected me because it's like, I'm trying to be transparent and raw and give you guys my thoughts. And it's like, now all of a sudden you're negating everything I just said. And it's like, why did I let that get to me so much? It's so trivial, but it just bothered me for like an hour.
Oh yeah, I'll chime in there for
Please
a second.
do.
I relate to that. I mean, I was joking about it before, but my ego was huge around this time last year. Like I said, I was getting invited to all these podcasts and invited to all these co-streams. I was going to commentate the tournament. My ego was huge. At that point, like, if anybody like disagreed with me about anything, I like took that to heart. That's why I was in like fucking 3 Twitter beefs at a time.
Oh man.
And it's funny that I can look back on that now and laugh at it because it's just like whatever. But yeah, like it's tough, and you don't have to call it stupid because it's you know, it's what you're experiencing, and what you're experiencing is never stupid. And it's one thing, like at least in that situation, the first thing you said, right? So you were telling us a story, and the first thing you said was, you just said, well, I got angry because I died, not because I stopped liking the area. Does that change what I just said? So as soon as you just said that to us, but technically like that's your truth right there. You just said it. So like once you kind of acknowledge that, you're like, all right, like, well, that's why I got angry. Like you can kind of like cross-reference that with yourself. And then,
but then I get dwell on this person's perception of me is like skewed because of that, and it's like, why should I have to explain myself to this person who's never even seen my stream before, who's just nitpicking something that just happened? Like, why are you like? They probably didn't even mean anything by it, to be honest.
True, yeah, right, yeah.
That's like the hard thing is like translating that text.
Yes, exactly.
It could have been like they're just poking fun, or they're just like
they're just trying to be funny, maybe joke around with me because I like to joke around with my viewers, and we like to like, you know, shit on each other or whatever. And maybe this person was just kind of trying to fit in with the vibe a little bit. Why am I taking it so personally? You know, like I think I just get upset when I have to, you know, explain myself to someone. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's tricky. Like one of the biggest things that definitely happened for me last year was something that you guys can probably know about. It's ego death. I just read about ego death. So so like it's basically like, you know, you have, again, sorry if I'm getting all fucking,
it's okay,
aliens, but so you have you, right? You have who you actually are, and then you have this like ego constructed version of yourself, and the ego constructed version of yourself is the act we play every day, right? It's the character we wear every day. Sometimes it's not too different from the version that we are, but it is a character that we play. Even, no matter how we're like, oh, I'm not playing a character. No, you are. In fact, the character you're playing right now just told you to say, I'm not playing a character. Because there you go, right?
But real, man.
Yeah. Exactly. and sometimes things will feel personal if you perceive them to be attacking this like construct that you've created. Like for me last year, someone could disagree on my opinion of a fucking weapon, and I would get so angry about it. And it's just, it's not even something about me. It's like something about like one of my thoughts. Like what the fuck? Like calm down. But like at that point, it was, my ego's so inflated. Like I picture like there's me, and then there's like a blob behind me, and it's just like kind of overtaking me, kind of thing.
Okay.
And that's like the imagery there. And sometimes it takes like, you know, someone coming over and like, you know, popping that shit, or some like traumatic life experience, something to humble you. Pretty much that's what happened to me this year. Several things, but the ego is like a really tricky thing to trying to like kind of break that down is tough, because a lot of the times it's not just like a funny character we're playing. It can be several things. It can be a defense mechanism. It can be a coping mechanism. Maybe you react to certain things or certain jokes because rewind 14 years ago, someone said something to you as a kid and you never like healed from it. And now you have this personality trait where you react to banter in a certain way. That probably sounds exaggerated, but so much shit is tied to our childhood. Like, I can't tell you enough.
No,
like,
that's
We all got fucked in some way as a kid.
Yep.
And a big part of like adulthood is like going back like and fixing that shit so we can continue to live our lives. It's like one thing I was working on this year. What's it called? I think like growth or something that can help deal with that, or like for me, like a big part of my growth this year was more unlearning things than learning things. And sometimes like we have like these like learned little behaviors or like these like learned reactions to certain things, and who knows, maybe a reaction to a comment like that on Twitch is you thinking about it because what if that guy is an asshole, or what if he didn't mean it that way? Well, at least now I'm prepared and I've toughened myself up internally.
Yep. I'm gonna tackle this now. I'm gonna
and let me like attack it
myself.
Now. And in a much shittier senses of that, people do that to their own friends, do that to their family, to their partners. Well, it's like, well, I don't want to get hurt, so I'm going to hurt you first, or I'm going to create this thing in my head so I don't get hurt.
I want to touch on that too, because I feel like growing up, I was always quiet. I never spoke. I never defended myself. I never stood up for myself until I started streaming. I swear to God, I think
that's a hard switch.
Woke up in me and I was like, you know what? You're live in front of these people. They're talking to you the way, if anyone talks to you the way that you don't want them to talk to you, now's your chance. Like, start defending yourself, start speaking up for yourself. And I think that's exactly what you're saying. Like, I just feel like I need to do that now. And even if it's that little comment from that guy about that part in that game, I want to tackle it right away and defend myself in case they are trying to hurt me. Definitely.
And the fucked up part about it is that, and I think I just cut somebody off, so I'll be quick. It's like it reminds me, it's because a lot of the times it is a defense mechanism. Like you're trying to protect yourself, and it's fucked. And it's like there's so many fucking anime references I can make. It could be like the fucking berserk armor that like it helps cuts out, but it's fucking him up. It's like almost killing him pretty much. And like, so let's say like, you're in a relationship, right? And like your partner says something or they do something, or you think they're doing something, then your fucking ego is like, it's like that fucking shitty ass devil. You know what I picture your ego? Like, you guys remember the devil from Soul Eater with the long arms, the little red devil? Picture him like that. And it's like, oh, well, she's totally saying this because of this, or like they're totally saying that because of that. And then you're like, yeah, you're right. And so you do this thing to protect yourself.
Yep.
And then you hurt yourself because it wasn't even that thing.
Exactly.
Or maybe it was, but not in the same way. And what would have been better was just communication of any kind, right? Instead of assumptions. But we all assume. I do it all the time still.
Right.
But the easier thing and the safer thing is to just put up this, like, instead of like a double-edged sword, like a double-edged shield, where like, it's like, it's protecting you, but then on this side it's fucking like stapled to your arm, and like you're just hurting yourself or something. And so like, unfortunately, that's the thing. And so here's the thing, right? It might be easier to like keep that shield there because you're gonna be protected, but you're gonna keep hurting yourself. Or here's the hard part: taking that shit off, right? So two things are happening. Now you're fucking hurting your arm, and now you have no shield. But on the other side of all that pain is a version of yourself that doesn't even need that shield. And like, that's what ego death is. Just like ripping off that fucking persona mask, or like taking off that like thing that maybe has protecting you, right? A version of all of us here from 2018 or 2016, those versions of ourselves are the reason we're still here, right? Yeah. Like, I had a really shitty way of thinking of things in 2016, but fuck if they didn't get me through that year, you know? Or like, I had a really shitty way of thinking about things 2018, but again, like that version of myself was that way to just fucking trudge through that shit, you know, to like survive. But what happens is, let's say you get out of that scenario, you get out of that job, you get out of that relationship, you move out. You don't need that armor anymore, but it's been on you for so fucking long that it's still on you. And so now it's not doing the thing that you created it for. You don't need it anymore. But taking that shit off is super, super, super hard mentally. It's like fucking physically taxing almost.
Yeah.
You're just so used to this manner of thinking in this manner of ways. And like, that's what I went through this year. I was taking off so much of this learned behaviors and these learned responses to trauma. It's almost like
you have to stop yourself from, like, you have to notice when you're going to act that way and then stop yourself from acting that way and then address it differently. Yeah.
And it's like it's a lot of effort.
It's a lot of change. It's like a huge change.
It's hyper self-awareness, so you feel like shit all the time because you keep thinking about how shitty you used to be. And there's so many things. There's so many things, and I reiterate, I'm still in it. I'm still in it. Like, I've applied a lot of these changes, and like if it was like Monster Hunter armor, I've taken off the legs and the waist, but I think I still have the fucking headpiece on. Like it's hard, and I still have like certain learned reactions that are there, like in order to protect me. I know it's fucked because now I've learned enough to know why I react to that. So like it's like this weird thing, like I'll react to something and I'm like, God damn it, I reacted that way. Oh, but it's okay because I'm reacting that way because, you know, this used to happen. And it's like I end up talking to myself for 5 minutes over a thing that was like 5 seconds.
Trying to justify it.
But the long answer to your question, probably a learned response. It's a learned behavior to things that probably used to hurt you a lot more in the past. But I bet you in some time from now, a version of yourself would see a comment like that and not be hurt, right? Like probably right now, me, Brian, and Phil probably wouldn't have been offended about something like that because we didn't build up maybe the same shield that you did.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And again, it's not diminishing any kind of reaction to that because
Absolutely
again, reactions are just it's how you react. But
no, that makes a lot of sense to me. It really does make a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
And the last thing is just whether it's a Twitch comment, whether it's something that your partner said to you, whether it's something your parents say to you about something that happened to my friend recently. We were hanging out. We were gonna hang out like on New Year's Day. We hung out on New Year's Day. And if anyone, it's kind of common maybe like in like Latino family, but maybe anyone can relate. Like you kind of do more stuff on New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, kind of nothing really happens. Sometimes you hang out with your family, but like Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve is like the thing, and then Christmas Day, it's like, all right, I'm gonna go do something. So we were all hanging out, and then when he got there, he was bummed, and then I asked him why, and he was like, "Oh, well, my mom on the way out was like, you're not gonna spend time with your family on New Year's Day," and he's like, "That's just been bothering me all day."
Oh,
and it's like, it can be anything like that. And we I gave him a TED talk that day too, and I found out, and I've known him for years. He's a friend from high school, and I've known that like at home, his mom would tell him like. He'd be like, "Oh, you're almost said his name, but I don't know, privacy." He's like, "Oh, that was just another one of your mood swings. Oh, look at you overreacting." And she would constantly like diminish his reaction to things. It's like, "Oh, you're just having one of those mood swings again," and like
not allowed to have any.
Just invalidate any reaction, any action of his. And so like he came. We were gonna record music. We've been recording some music. And he was like that's what he was leaving to do something productive, but like again, his mom didn't care about that, said this thing, and then that line was like with him all day. So yeah, it can be like reactions to even the smallest things, but like that version of yourself is just kind of doing what it has probably been conditioned to do.
Yep, for sure.
And whoever was gonna say something.
I didn't have much to say. I was just like, for me, you know, what I've been doing to help cope is really like my keyword in the last few years. Like I've been doing a lot of soul searching and self-improvement. I would say like perspective is big. Like you know, you said the first thing you said was like, Faye, when you were talking about that one person, what they said was like, maybe it doesn't bother you or Henry or Phil as much, and maybe you should just put yourself in that perspective as well, like and then you know what Henry mentioned, like look deeper into why you said that. But I don't know, I put things in perspective, but one thing I've been doing is just like having more confidence in myself to call that shit out when I feel that way, right? Like if that person really said that, you know, I would just say how I'm currently feeling, and instead of letting it impact my entire stream, you know, call that shit out,
talk about
address it.
See, but then I feel like, but then that person never answers again, and then I feel like I just wasted everyone's time flipping out about, well, maybe not flipping out, but trying to communicate, using my energy to try and communicate to this person why what they said upsets me, and then they just like don't care and they don't respond, and then I feel like that would make me feel even worse. But at the same time, at least people know how I feel. Maybe it's not even that person, but everyone else knows why I reacted that way, so we can just move on from it.
Yeah. That's a good way. And maybe like thinking about that is like, was that, even if that person doesn't respond to you, do you think that person means anything to you at that point? If they don't want to associate with you or give you your 2 seconds to talk about how you feel about that, is that someone you want in your life? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I could take 100 of those viewers any day, right? But is that the type of community I want to build? Is that
absolutely
like,
not?
If someone doesn't want to listen to you, like at that point, you need to step up. And this comes back to me too. Like, I need to listen to this, and I'm gonna be better about it. But maybe at that point, you know, like put that perspective in there. Like, is that really what you want to accomplish or what you want to get out of it?
Right.
And if that person's not there, you know, tough luck. Like, they've just missed out on a great opportunity with you. You know what I mean?
Good conversation.
They missed out on one small thing that maybe bothered them, and they didn't look at the overall picture of you. You know what I mean?
That's really fair. Yeah, thank you.
There was something recently for me as well, like with I finally put my foot down with my community and everything, because there's been people every now and then where it's just like they would say something that would make someone else uncomfortable, or they would do something, and at first I was just like, I kind of just let it slide, or they would say something to me and I'm just like, no. But I recently like put my foot down, I'm just like, I don't want this. I don't want to deal with this every time. And especially in Discord or Twitch, I'm just like, I communicate with my mods and everything. It's like, this is what I want. In the Discord, this is what I don't want.
I'm so proud of you.
Get a clear picture.
Good for you.
People in the comments might be like, "Oh, look at these streamers, these first world problems." But
this is mentally like it's been building up for years. It's not like
imagine,
wow.
It is tough. Like I remember one time, like fucking like in an effort to just avoid conflict of all times, I just almost like didn't say anything about some like transphobic ass shit in my chat, and I'm like, and I have like hella like trans and like LGBT friends. And it's just like in an effort to just like keep it all like happy-go-lucky, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna just let it like, you know, float away in chat. Like, no, fuck that. So like I did the same thing. Like the next time I saw it, I was like,
this is done.
Get the hell out of here. You're done. And then I also changed my rules in my Discord, in my Twitch chat. And as soon as you come in, I don't know if you guys have seen, if you come into my chat, it's like a paragraph there.
No, I haven't seen it.
I had to do it because I was like, you know what? Like, what kind of positivity is that if I'm like not speaking up on certain things that I believe in, or like that I have a big like LGBT following. I don't know how, but what's up? Shout outs. And you know, I want to keep the space safe and comfortable for them too. So so the next time I saw that, like I spoke up, but like I was like iffy about it. It's like being on a diving board. I was like,
I think because like the public, people that don't stream, have this like view of us that like we can't talk about politics. We have no place to talk about politics, and like LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter, all that stuff for some reason has been filed into that politics folder. So it's like, if we want to talk about current events, if we want to talk about, you know, the virus, like, oh nope, the streamer's talking about politics, I'm closing it. But it's like, you know what, how, like, we got to draw the line somewhere. We're human beings, and we all need to just talk about these things. And just because we're streaming video games and we're a form of entertainment, we're not robots. We have feelings, we have thoughts, and like you as a community need to hear and respect that.
Definitely.
And people's lives and their rights are not politics. It's ethics, it's civics, it's real life.
Right.
Like, it's the funniest thing. Like, keep politics out of my video games. Like, word, like out of your video games. Like, keep politics. Okay, keep politics
Go
out
play
of
Final Fantasy VII and like, come on.
Yeah. It's the funniest. It's so funny to see those takes. But yeah.
Yep. Agree.
I just wanted to throw it out there, Phil. Dude, I'm really proud of you for doing that. That just speaks about how much you've grown. Not letting people step over you. I know before you had like one thing you've done recently was, well, not recently, but you made a transition in your channel to leave Black Ops or zombies, right? And you focused on more content that you like. That's great, right? That's maybe you didn't look at it until now, or maybe you haven't really noticed it, but like that's a really big transition that you did. And then with what you just said recently, I think that really speaks a lot about you and how self-aware you are, and kind of you care about the well-being of people within your community, and it's okay to stand up to that kind of stuff. That's really big. And then Henry, I just want to throw it out there, man. Like you've been saying that you've been working on yourself. I just can't wait, because you're such a great person now.
I'm proud of you.
And we can see you,
Thank you guys.
a year or 2 years. I mean, we're always going to be working on ourselves, but
for sure,
I admire you quite a bit, and just keep going at it, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Again, it means a lot for people to come here and talk with us and be really transparent and open and feel comfortable around us. I'm glad we can provide a space for you to share your thoughts like that.
Hell yeah! Thank you
really
guys.
Inspiring.
Thank you guys for sharing too. As soon as Phil, like I watched your, I haven't been like watching anything. Like I'm just get home and I like pass out. But I checked out the one with Coco, and then the recent one where you had no guest. Yeah. As soon as Phil messaged me, I was like, "Yo, let's go!" And I was like, "Cancel everything on Sunday." But yeah, thank you guys for sharing. And like, I mean, and thank you for like gassing me up. But yeah, it's cool,
dude. Honestly, like I've been doing so many things lately on like just talking to other people and gassing them up, or saying something nice about someone. Like,
word up.
It's so easy to do. We just always overlook it.
Yeah, I love talking good about people behind their back. That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's
hear
nice.
about it.
Like,
I do that all the time. It's such a great feeling, and so nice.
Just always looking out for someone's best. Like it's just nice to see people accomplish things and are successful and are happy doing it. It just like inspires me and it motivates me, and I'm chasing that feeling. So
word up.
It's just something that I'm inspired by, but keep it up.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. Same to the three of you. Yeah, it's weird being in this. Like I said, we have a weird task in this journey of to like exist, but also create and like not hate ourselves in the process. Like somewhere along the line in this MMO we call life, we picked creative as our spec, and we do. It's like it's like picking Chikorita in Johto. Like it's the hard route, But I think on the other side of all this is like just a really wonderful place that I think I'm trying to get, and like I think we'll all get there. But yeah, there's like a lot of weird obstacles, a lot of self-made obstacles in that, and I think the sooner we realize we can actually just kind of like get rid of some of those ourselves, and then the ones that we can't like get rid of, we can get to a place where they're not as hard to get through as we might think, and like it's not as scary. I think one new thing for me, and again, same thing here. So I'm mad proud of you. I think the fact that you like, as soon as you said like I'm making a video that's like different from my usual content, that's already a win right there, man. Like you already won. I think like as soon as you just realize you can just try whatever you want, like that's awesome. Like I think the first time I fucking like put on my poncho and grabbed a plastic sword and said I'm a character called the Veteran Hunter, I was like, I fucking hope people like this. Actually, no. Well, okay, no. At the first time I did it, I was like, I hope people don't think this is weird. And then, like now it's like a beloved character of mine, which is so funny. And then, but yeah, like on the other side of like the shit you want to try is like the best stuff. And like, I think if we can just like all cross that stuff, it's like, it's the funnest thing. And then for streaming, I tried like just chatting, which I think I've been recommending everyone to try just chatting. Jitsu, you did it recently. I think just
like for a full stream, you mean, to recommend it?
I say, okay, imagine your favorite streamer, but they're not playing a game and they're just talking with you, and then you type a question in chat and they answer it. How fucking dope is that?
That's sick.
And you're all
live
here,
Q&A.
somebody's favorite streamer. So I say just definitely take a day if you're not feeling like playing a game, because like that's the thing. I'm really digging streaming, but I tweeted about this a while back. Like the games aren't motivating me right now. I'm like in this weird slump. I'm not really like playing a lot of games, but I love talking, right? And I love like sharing. So that's when I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just try just chatting. And like the first time I did just chatting, like not to quantify it, but I had like more viewers than like my recent Moss Hunter stream. So I was like, oh, word up. But yeah, I think it's just really cool to share. And then something I said in one of my like mental health just chatting streams was like, as soon as you get the fuck out of your way, like you can do so much. And like you just gotta like get out of your way. And like once you do, so many doors just start to open, and all you have to do is just like walk through them. Because like if you're like trying to open the doors, those metaphorical doors, like it's just fucking, it's not budging. It's like Dark Soul doors. They're heavy as hell.
Yeah,
But
dude.
if you're like, as soon as like you just kind of like, yeah, right, yeah, like that's what it feels like. But as soon as you like just kind of just get out of your own head, and it's easier said than done. But like as soon as like you just get out of your own head, there's fucking nothing you can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Does want to talk about anime?
Phil's ready.
I'm ready. I'm 100%.
unless someone wanted to add something to that. Figure that was a good meaty, heavy topic.
That was a good way to kind of conclude though too. And I really encourage people in the comments to talk, about what we've been talking about too, and give us your thoughts on everything.
Word up.
So what manga have you been
reading? Do this. Say something nice in the comments about everyone here.
I like that.
Compliment someone.
It doesn't have to be us.
Do
it could be a
all four.
random
You can
person.
just compliment me. I need it.
Just compliment on how cute his little hat is.
And mention something that you're proud of in this first month of January.
Okay.
We just went through a tough ass year.
Oh my gosh.
Mention something good that you
just
started with.
Hugs in the chat, man. Like holy shit.
Fucking made it. We made it to we keep living through these historical events. I'm getting a little tired if you ask me, but
let's take those 6-foot high fives. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Someone asked me what I was reading.
Yeah, any manga?
Oh man, what haven't I been reading? I have been reading so much because it's just really easy to read. You can read really fast. Like the last time I read was like in college. I would read in class, which is funny.
Yeah.
I was a great student. But I haven't really had time. Not even like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't have time to watch, but like sometimes I'm really bad at watching. I'll just like get up and start doing something else, or like watch an episode and then like not click next. I don't know.
That's why I can't watch subtitle anime.
Yeah.
I gotta be.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start simple, man. Like favorite anime, go.
Favorite anime?
All time.
That's a tough question. Can I give you a top 5?
You can hit me with the top 3.
How about like a top classic and a top new, maybe?
Oh, that's good too.
Oh yeah, I guess you could say like what's new that you've been watching that you've been really digging.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
But I'm caught up in the manga, and that's just gonna get wild. I'm gonna tell you, that's just gonna get wild.
I'm gonna collect that after I'm done reading Demon Slayer. Oh my god.
Is that like the Japanese name for one, or is I just don't know what the hell that is?
It's called Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
It's all right, Faye. We're old people here. You gotta break it down for us.
It's one of the new. It's like a few episodes in. It's like still in its first season, but the guy, it's got some great characters. I think for the newer generation, it's very reminiscent. I think a lot of people are clicking with it because it's kind of like Naruto. You got the sensei character, and you got the trio, like 2 boys and a girl kind of setup, and like the neighboring other characters, kind of like when we first met like Neji and Rock Lee, like other people in the Leaf Village, but like not the same school kind of thing. But it's like, I mean, Naruto is goated, especially OG Naruto. I reread OG Naruto like not too long ago. So good. Like,
Excuse
like,
me.
it deserves its. No, that was a nice one. I think Naruto definitely deserves its status. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, been reading it and been watching it. I just read Fire Punch, which is the same as that's Fire Punch. That's a trip. But the creator of Fire Punch made Chainsaw Man, and Chainsaw Man's about to get animated by the same studio who is doing JJK and Attack on Titan.
Really?
So yeah, Mappa Studios is doing Chainsaw Man. It's gonna be wild. Like, if you like, it's like nothing else I've ever read. It's so, I don't know, I can't even describe it. Like Chainsaw Man, like you see the picture.
I saw you tweeted about it.
Who has chainsaws for arms and a head. It's not a spoiler. Like you can see it.
Yeah.
And like I started reading it, I'm like what could be the hype behind this? Like that's his power. He's got chainsaws for arms. Let me tell you, when it is like the biggest fucking. It's just read it or watch it when it comes out.
Sure.
But stuff that more people might be familiar with, Mob Psycho, probably like one of my favorite animes of all time. Like season 1 was super cool, and I remember when season 2 got announced, I was like, all right, like I enjoyed I like 1 as a creator, same guy who did One Punch Man, and I was like, I like me some psychic fights, and then I watched season 2, and I did not expect this fucking psychological therapy like dive into character study. Yes, season 2, like season 2 Mob.
I haven't watched season 2 yet.
Yeah,
so
yeah, exactly. Season 2 is so good. Season 2 Mob Psycho like bumped it way up in my list. Yeah, love me some Hunter x Hunter. Might be a cliche answer, but it's goated as hell. I recently started rewatching Samurai Champloo. I want to rewatch a lot of old animes to see if they're really as good as I remember them, or I was just like a kid and was like, "Oh, anime." Yeah. But Samurai Champloo so far has been good. Like it's still
the music.
Oh, so good.
Every episode has something amazing.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Phil, you've been saying you've been grinding on your reads lately. Where are you at right now, man?
I've been
what were you reading?
I'm currently reading Demon Slayer. I'm trying to get through that. Like I got all the volumes they have out right now because I'm just gonna grab all of them and read them all. But the manga is really good, and I'm really excited to see everything animated because just like there's like one scene.
They're doing such a good job.
The animation is incredible. Like there's one scene, the room scene, where like the room moves around, like the demon is like hitting the drums to move around the room, and then in the manga it was literally just like arrows pointing where the character was hitting the room. So it wasn't like it was like a huge difference between the two, but the animation made it that much beautiful.
Yes, yeah.
It's like,
I was just talking about that on stream. Like, I'll say this on the podcast as well, but My Hero is carried so hard by the anime.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
So I started reading My Hero because I saw like a spoilerish panel that piqued my interest. So I started reading it, but I like to kind of read the manga to see things that are different. So instead of like starting with where the anime left off, which is what I did with Demon Slayer, I went back, not to the beginning, but like I went back, and the fights, they're way better. And like I mean, fights are usually better, obviously animated, but like My Hero, it's like some fights are like so, the anime just elevates it so much. I'll say that. And the music too, like so much. Same thing with Demon Slayer. Although the Demon Slayer manga is really fucking funny. Like the little cute faces that she does.
Oh my, Nezuko?
Yeah. The silly faces.
Oh my gosh.
Demon Slayer is like so funny. Yeah.
There was one scene, this doesn't spoil anything, but like Tanjiro was about to say something to another character, like kind of revealing something, I guess, and then Nezuko just kind of came up and just like, nope, shut up, and like kind of like just ran by and smacked him.
The comedic timing of the manga is somehow like really good, which is really funny. In a sense, slight like only that, like the comedic, like the funny thing is a little bit better than the anime, but everything else is way better. I got the events of Mugen Train spoiled for me, so that's what made me start reading it. I'm in the arc after Mugen Train.
That's so hard to not get spoiled. It was just like
it was everywhere. My Hero and Demon Slayer are everywhere. Like it's yeah.
Mhm.
What about you two, Faye or Jitsu? You guys read or watching?
Bro, I've been reading Captain Underpants.
Hell yeah.
Just kidding. No, I don't read manga. I'll be honest. Like the last manga I read, I wrapped up Attack on Titan.
Word up.
And then current anime. Dude, I think I mentioned this last week, but King of the Hill, bro. That's like, it's not anime, but bro, it's just like
King of the Hill is mad
so
funny,
good.
actually. Yeah.
Like the
That's
older you get, the funnier it is, man.
Yes.
And it's like the more I can relate to Bobby Hill too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're getting there.
Dude, I just love that show. But anime wise, I mean, I like once a year I go through Yu Yu Hakusho, so I'm gonna get ready to ramp up on that. But Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm pretty basic.
Word up. No,
Hunter x
those
Hunter
are
is great though. Oh my god.
How crazy that Tagashi made 2 classics, man. How do you make two classics? That's crazy.
The same person that did Yu Yu Hakusho made Hunter x Hunter?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Same guy. And his wife
crazy.
made Sailor Moon. Power couple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What about you, Faye?
Well, I'm not a big manga reader either. I want to get into it. The only manga that I ever read start to finish is called Chobits, and
Okay.
it's like one of my favorite mangas ever. The anime is okay, but the manga, like the artwork and the characters are just so beautiful. I love the manga so much. I wish I could just print out every cover and just hang it all over my house. It's so pretty. But the manga that I would really like to read from start to finish as well is the Akira manga. Aside, because I saw the movie,
Oh,
Yes.
and I just
Apparently
heard
it's
that
like-
the manga
I've
is
heard
so
it's really
much
good.
more,
Yeah.
but it's so expensive. But like, I don't know, maybe one day I could just set aside some money and just buy the whole series and sit down and read it. And I know it's going to be very intense because it's got a lot of really heavy stuff.
Mhm.
But I love that. Like, I love how deep it is, and yeah, I would really love to read that manga from start to finish.
Word up.
Anime, I'm not really watching too many right now. I am getting back into The Promised Neverland. I know that there's
It's
a
so
new
good.
season now, and it's honestly one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like, even like outside of the realm of anime, I think it's just got such an amazing story, and I can't wait to see the end of it or where they go with the season.
Yeah.
So
they
yeah.
plan on taking another direction with the anime compared to the manga. At least from what I've heard. Like I saw like a video talking about it because I was watching with a friend of mine and we were like watching season 2 and we're like they're covering things that didn't happen in the manga. They're going more in depth with the relationship with
Nice.
the characters that I really loved but didn't get much
Okay.
attention in the manga. And it's so nice to see that animated and I was like, yes. Yes.
I know that happens sometimes. Like that happened. I know the creator of Mob. He's like working really closely with the studio, and he's making changes. And he said that the anime is his true vision of like that story that he wants. So maybe similar thing with Promise Neverland. Like maybe they're making some changes, tweaking some stuff. You know, a little bit of whiteout, maybe changing something that happened, and then like maybe the anime is like they're fully realized the vision or something.
Maybe I have to look into it. I hope so. Yeah.
For those people in the comments, my question is to you guys, but it's for the people in the comments. For those who don't watch anime, what do you think is a good gateway anime? For someone who's like, I don't watch those cartoons.
Attack on Titan.
Okay, yeah, I can see
I
that.
feel like
Really?
it's I feel like it's a really good way to introduce it because it's not too much where it's like I have these special powers where like I can have like a wind ball in my hand or I have the 9-tailed fox in my body. It's like
Okay.
it's very
That's a good
straightforward
point.
where I have blades, I'm gonna kill the Titan.
Bro, I think
like
the
that.
shock factor will get people too when
True.
Aaron at the beginning, you know, like you'll get sucked in by how beautiful the anime looks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the music's amazing, right? And then
It's
the
hype.
moment Aaron first gets eaten, you're like, bro, what's
Fun.
going on? This is just a main character.
Like,
I don't care.
5 years.
You know, this
like
it's
6
been
years.
out
It's
for
all
a
good.
while.
Yeah. Probably one of the Attack on Titan's up there on my list, but probably one of the best first episodes of an anime ever. I think it's up there.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's like one of the best. Like, oh my god, I need to click episode 2. Like, what the hell?
Because it's just like it starts off as like very peaceful and everything, and then you see this huge shock of lightning come out of nowhere, and then it's just like a huge face over the wall, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That show scares me. I can't watch it. It
is scary. It's like there's a lot of.
It's like one of my worst nightmares, being eaten by a giant human.
Yeah, they're all ugly.
There's a lot of scenes in anime too where they like go they go that far, and you're just like, wow. Yeah.
Don't shy away from certain things.
See bodies decomposing inside of them, man.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Very, very well crafted story. Like you can like go back, and because like once you find some stuff, you're like, word, and you go back a few episodes and you're like, oh snap, like very like it's good. It's good.
It's one of those shows that you can rewatch once you know everything, and you rewatch it, and it's that much better.
I did do that, and it connects. It all connects. I was like, damn, cool. All right, you did a good job.
I feel like Demon Slayer's up there too, probably in terms of starting anime. I
got someone with Death Note.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Because it's like a crime show, but with that supernatural factor to it. And it worked, and I won him over. So I feel like Death Note could be, if you can get past. It has like some aged stuff, but you know, if you can get past that, yeah. Honestly, it's like more funny than anything. If you can get past that, I think Death Note's a pretty solid little gateway one.
It's funny because like when I was younger and I started, because Dragon Ball Z was obviously my gateway. It's a lot of people's gateway. Oh, for sure. Like my brother was always watching it, so I started watching it and we would watch it together, and then like he didn't really care about it anymore because anime just wasn't his thing, but it was definitely mine at the time. So like I would try to get all my girlfriends obviously to like watch the show that I loved, and they'd be like, what the this is shit, this is stupid, I hate this. So I had like no one to relate to about it. It was like my secret. Anime was like my secret.
Oh like, snap! I've met a lot of girls who like that similar situation.
Dude, because anime wasn't fucking cool back then. It's cool now. It's everywhere now. Everyone it's acceptable. Back in the day, you were a fucking loser, and everyone made fun of you if you liked anime. I'm in my 30s, so I don't know how old you guys are, but back in the day, you were not fucking cool, and like you'd get bullied hardcore if you wore an anime. Like if you wore a Dragon Ball Z shirt to school, someone would punch you in the face immediately. at least where I went to high school, I was at a typical high school that you would see like in the movies, where there's cliques, jocks everywhere, punching up the nerds. Like that was my high school, middle school experience, and you were a loser if you liked anime, dude.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Wasn't that far?
I'll tell you what, back in my day.
That dog don't hunt, man. That dog don't
not
hunt.
go to school with a Sailor Moon lunchbox, dude. You get shoved in a locker.
Hey, not even Sailor Moon. That's crazy.
Would you guys go as far as say like maybe as an introduction to anime, you would maybe show them like a Ghibli movie or an anime film, like Akira, dude. That one, like. Has
I don't know.
Akira's so well.
That could be intense.
And it's like, bro, like dude. you got someone that's maybe a Final Fantasy VII fan, and you're like, holy shit, this is like everything Akira.
I think
it's got so many roots to everything. Akira's really just so good.
Akira's good for sure. You mentioning
reading him with the Spirited Away, you know, maybe a Kiki's Delivery Service, you know, something light.
I saw Spirited Away with my mom. Hence, I'm wearing. Oh my god, I'm wearing a Spirited Away shirt. My mom got me this shirt. She didn't understand why I liked anime and what it was. Spirited Away came out. I went to the movies with her to go see it because she kind of wanted to know what it was.
You went to the movies to see it?
Yeah, and she ended up loving it, and she thought it was so like amazing and beautiful and a great story and everything. And so she like. That Christmas after the movie came out, she got me the shirt, she got me like a sweatshirt with all the Spirited Away characters, and she got me the movie on DVD when it came out. Yes, DVD. She like was, and so that's a really good point, Brian. Definitely start with Studio Ghibli movies because they're a great introduction. Like even like my mom like laughs when she sees anime on the TV because their mouths don't match up with the sound effects. It's just so goofy. But it's like, dude, watch Spirited Away with me, and she was just like, "This is beautiful."
Yeah,
They're very
Yeah.
beautiful movies. I really
Yeah.
do enjoy them. Like you watch them and it's just like there's like so much meaning behind what's going on
Stunning.
in the movies.
It's so
Or-
funny because you go first.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say, there's always like other mediums of anime that you can introduce people into, like video
Yeah.
games as an example, right? Like
Sword
Ni
Art
no
Online.
Kuni, like an RPG, like Ni no
Yeah.
Kuni.
A lot of people play
beautiful.
Persona. A lot of people who
That's
didn't
true
like
too,
RPGs
Persona.
or anime played Persona, which is like the most anime
Yeah.
RPG, the most anime, the most RPG out there, and like it works. So, sometimes it just clicks.
That's
Mhm.
great.
Well, yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Somebody go while I remember. Brain farted right there.
I don't know, like when
Bro, I got nothing else for me. What were you saying, Phil? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Like I didn't have that extent in high school or like in middle school or growing up with like anime. For me, that wasn't as intense as it was for you, Faye. But
Oh God, yeah. I'm not
there's-
even exaggerating, you guys. Like
I
that was
believe
literally how it
that's
was.
crazy. But for me, it was just like I would get judged. I wouldn't be involved in certain groups of people because they're just like, oh, you read manga out in public, and I'm just like, it's good. I enjoy
Who
it.
reads right to left? What the hell? We're in America.
They ask you, it's like, what is that? It's like, it's a manga. It's Naruto.
Someone
And then
would
they,
have grabbed you and shoved your head into a toilet if you went to the same school as me, dude.
oh my gosh.
Oh,
but-
yeah.
But like I got the tattoo and like everyone's like praising it and everything. It's just weird to see that now. Everyone's like, yeah, that's sick. And I'm like, okay. I posted a
Full
pic.
360.
Yeah,
sure.
I posted a picture. I'm like, look at that glow up. And I'm like, what?
I've always been
Power
the same.
toaster.
Anime just happened to get cooler, I guess.
I guess so.
Like, well, shit. Okay.
Yeah. You
Fuck,
were,
man, I suffered.
you DM'd me when I was getting my tattoo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my Christmas gift to myself. So the artist that I want, because I really want her to do it. She like flew to LA to like tattoo like Nick Cannon. You guys can look her up. Her name is Bright.
Oh, dude.
Shout outs.
Amazing.
Her name is Bright Bones on Instagram. She is a fantastic artist, and like they have, I'm gonna get it done at Inked NYC, and
Okay.
they have other artists, but I really want this one in specific
Mhm.
to be done by her. Like I'm looking at, because that's what they said. They're like, this is my first tattoo, so I call them and I was like, how's this process work? I don't know. And they were like, hey, you can kind of send us the references and what you want, and then we can match it with an artist. But usually we recommend that you pick the artist that like you really can like you envision them doing it like as you see. And yeah, I'm down to wait as long as I have to, because I really want her to do it.
Is there a specific
That's
tattoo
good.
you want, or are you going to keep it like a surprise until you get it?
There's can I tell you guys about them? There's like two. There's like two that I want to get. The second one I'm like iffy. The second one's like an anime one. But the first one's gonna be like, where's my camera? The first one's gonna be like right here.
Mhm.
So I'll tell you guys a story. I've been like all about like plants and flowers lately in my path to growth and like wellness and stuff. But I have a story that I'm kind of gonna associate with this one. So it's gonna be like something floral. But I had this story is like a big motivation behind it. So when my mom was pregnant with me, this is some Herny lore. Some
All
Herny
right.
lore.
Oh, we gonna beat.
Those in the
Do
comments. So when my mom was pregnant with me, she was very sick. She had an autoimmune disease called pemphigus vulgaris. You can look it up. Or kind of just literally fucking eats away at your skin. So when my mom was pregnant with me, it was like the peak of her sickness as well.
Mhm.
And where we were living while she was sick, all of the plants in the house died. They all wilted while she was sick. And anyone who's like Latino or maybe just anyone like kind of this belief like you have a lot of plants because like they'll absorb the bad energy instead of it like going to you, like they'll kind of the scapegoat it for you, like they'll kind of take it. So she was super sick with me, and all of the plants in the house died. And then so like she was going to the doctor and stuff, and they offered her like really powerful like medication that would help her, but it would affect me. And so my mom decided to not take it so that it wouldn't affect me. So she just tanked through that shit like a fucking boss.
Wow.
So what my mom believes is that God was helping her out and kind of rushed me out. So I was born like really premature, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. I was born really premature. I was tiny as hell. I was like 4 pounds, and my skin was kind of like see-through. They put me in an incubator, and like things weren't looking that good. But time passed. I'm here. I was fine. No, like despite being that premature, like no, like deformations. Yeah, like nothing. Yeah, no complications. I'm perfectly fine. So bless up. And when my mom like got home once I was born, all the plants and flowers in the house came back to life.
To life. Oh my God.
So,
wow, that's amazing.
That's insane.
So the tattoo that I want to get is it's gonna be like a flower, and there's gonna be like three like flowers, and like their respective leaves, like all over here. And what I want is I want it to like kind of look like the flower is like in space or like made out of space, like made out of the cosmos. Like the way I'm picturing it, like it's like there's like stars in the petals and in the plants. Like it's made out of like the cosmos.
Yes.
And like so like just the plants and the leaves, and then the center, the middle flower will have an eye in the center.
That is beautiful.
Kind of like I'm always being like watched over. So like if there's never any plants around me to like absorb any negative energy, I always got like the plant and flower like on me. It's kind of like
that.
That's really cool.
The one that I might get here is just some anime reference that I haven't picked yet.
Yeah.
Not to diminish any kind of like media references.
Are you doing like 2 different arms kind of thing? Like this arm is for like meaningful, and then this arm's for.
I was thinking about something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That's what I might do if I go that route, like that one here and the other one like here. But both are going to be like on the forearmy area. It's a very like typical like spot, I guess. But I don't know. I want to be able to look at it too. Like it's kind of like for me as well.
Oh yeah.
So,
that's a great
like
spot.
sometimes it's a good reminder, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm always at work and I see it and I'm just like imagining that scene from the anime. I'm just like, yeah. Oh my goodness.
I have this. I have a bow.
I was gonna ask you about all yours.
And every time I look at this, I'm reminded about how much I hated in Rise. No, I'm kidding. I had to throw a jab, dude.
Yeah, I full screen you. Can you show it again?
Yes.
What is it? Oh, it's Bo. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I got what you said.
Bo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I have this too. It's a bonfire from Dark Souls, but I want to get the fire part redone. I think I want to get some color in there too, make it look, you know what I mean? Sort of rekindle the fire there.
I like that. That's sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You have a crazy. You got something going on.
Oh, I'm sleeved up, man. I got both my arms done.
Show it off.
Show your piece, man.
Show your feet.
So I'll show you. Yeah. So I was born in the year of the monkey. Right?
Oh, word up.
So this is a Sun Wukong tattoo. It's like
hell
a big
yeah.
influence in my life.
That's
And
all
then
one piece or 2 things?
No, it's just it's a half sleeve.
Oh, okay. I see it.
That's beautiful, man.
And then I have just a snake, a wrapped around lotus here. There's no meaning. It's just dope.
It just looks awesome. Yeah. It could be
And
just
then
that too.
my favorite bird is called a lammergeier. So
You got that recently? No.
Sick.
No, you didn't.
yeah, so it's a bone vulture.
Mhm.
It's just something I was really
That's
into.
awesome.
And then I play a lot of Magic the Gathering.
Word up.
So one of my all-time favorite Magic cards is right here. It's
Oh, dope.
it's a Elish Norn, yeah.
Yeah. I played a little bit of Magic the Gathering in college. That's fucking awesome.
So sick.
And then I have a butt tattoo.
Do you really?
Yeah, dude, it's a Palumu. It's great.
Is it? Oh, that's awesome. I guess I should. Yeah, I should get a Monster Hunter one. I don't know what I would get, but probably get a Monster one there.
I think I'm gonna get something like either the evolution chain of Gore or Shigaru himself or something.
Be really
That'd be
cool.
dope.
You know, it'd be dope. Shigaru doing the pose when he does his roar, like he flies up and then fucking opens up like that. That'd be a cool pose. And then like the purple stuff spreading out or something.
I think I know.
Feels like
what
that's what I want.
I'm gonna do that on like the backside here, so it's gonna be like the Naruto, then the Monster Hunter, because those are like the 2 biggest impacts in my life. Monster Hunter's become huge, and then
What's
Naruto's.
You got like one.
Oh yeah, I have one on my neck. It's it says New Beginnings in Japanese. Night Sight helped me out with that, so I made sure.
Oh right, yeah.
I was just like, help. But
sure, don't get the.
Yeah, it was more of like a celebration for the merchandise they release, and there's like a bigger meaning behind it with a friend of mine that passed away a few years ago. And like he's the biggest reason why I'm doing a lot of the social media and why I'm doing all this stuff. So I wanted him to be a part of as much as I do.
Hell yeah, it's a beautiful tattoo.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
I knew I wanted like a Monster Hunter tattoo, but like, I love the black and white aesthetic of like people that just have like grayscale tattoos on them, and I knew that's like I've got 3, and I know like okay, I'm kind of gonna go with that theme. So I was like debating on getting Fire on the Flame here. I don't know yet, but I thought dude, the bow icon would be just so cool to just have it, and I wanted it smaller, right? But my artist was like, dude, the lines on the little like icon are so thick. He's like, this is the smallest I could make it. I'm like, just do it. It looks fucking.
It looks great. Yeah.
Do it. It looks so good. Like, I love it.
Oh yeah. Are you gonna play Bow and Rise?
That's the same thing with Insect Glaive for me. I don't think I'm gonna play Insect Glaive for Rise when it comes out. They're just so different. Yeah, I'm just like
I like how we barely talked about Monster Hunter 2, actually.
Yeah. I like
That's what happens here, dude. We hardly talk about that game.
We're all deep people, I guess. We like talking about like really deep subjects. I like that. I really do.
Yeah, this was good.
What are you rocking in Rise then? Now now that we're talking about Monster Hunter.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think people keep asking me what I'm gonna play through the story with, and I think it's gonna be Hammer. It's schmovin'. Hammer is beefy.
The Wirebug edition is just so nice on the Hammer.
Yeah, I like the meme or like the theory that, so you guys know how like Ryozo, the creator and head producer of Monster Hunter, he's a self-proclaimed Hammer main. He's like mentioned it a couple times, so it's got to be true. So there's a theory that the reason Hammer is always good is because he's a Hammer main. So like,
that's amazing.
The devs are working on the game. He'll come in and be like, Nah, change the clutch claw. Let it do this. Like, right
dude,
behind
clutch
them.
claw and hammers just was not even fucking fair, man.
So good. Ridiculous. It has been good in GU. It's great in Iceborne, and it's fantastic in Rise. So yeah, I'm probably gonna play through the story with Hammer. But I'm digging. Like everything is pretty fun. Like even like everything asterisk is pretty fun. But yeah, I've also been digging. I mean, Hunting Horn, of course. Lance is fun. Demo Lance is never great PR for the weapon, but so we'll see in the full game. Also, kind of bow. I know.
Fucking sweet though, the buff. Oh my god, the Lance buff that you get.
Built in Rage Guard, hell yeah, that was a really nice change. And then the freaking attach yourself and go flying, so good. One that I've never been like a fan of. I've never been a fan of Switch Axe. I always thought Switch Axe was cool, but I would like never pick it unless someone in chat was like play. Honestly, unless someone in chat was play Switch Axe, I'd never pick it.
I know what you mean.
But it's moving. It's moving.
Rise Switch Axe is really nice. Yeah.
That's one that kind of surprised me. Switch Axe and Gunlance. Not really a big Gunlance guy, but it's been a lot of fun in Rise as well.
You can literally fly into the air with that thing.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. What about you guys?
Oh, you guys know what I'm picking.
I probably longsword
I'm gonna
or
guess
Hunting
Faye's a
Horn.
heavy bowgun on Rise, or she might consider Swag Axe.
Word up.
Yeah,
Word up.
you got it. You
And then Phil,
it.
I think longsword. I think you're gonna be focusing on the longsword here.
Probably.
So
Weep. I'm kidding.
Oh, you listen.
Hell yeah. Embrace it and make it
Don't
your
kick my ass now.
Don't come in the toilet, dude. Give him a swirly.
Just show like I posted a picture on Twitter. It's like I punched Phil and you show like the monitor like smashed.
Back in my day, that's what you would have gotten.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Longsword is crazy. Did you see that it is actually confirmed bugged? I don't know if it's confirmed. Apparently, the damage of the critical juncture is in the helm splitter and vice versa, and that's why the helm splitter is hitting so hard.
Hmm.
I think that's what they something like that in the data mine. Apparently, the helm splitter is hitting a little too hard. That part is true. They don't know why, but I think it's like something like that.
Okay.
But even despite the damage, it's too good.
So smooth. It flows so well.
Yeah, that's another weapon that is a little bit of bias. The devil. Yeah, too much love, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I made the mistake of my community peer pressured me into making one of those stupid tier lists. So we were just like messing around. I made one because like whatever. So I was like, guys, I can't post this on Twitter.
I
think
I know
get murdered, but we did anyway, just as a joke. Because it's always funny to see people like that take it really seriously, and they're like, "How could you put this there?" It's like, dude, why do you care so much? It's just
they go as far as like motion value and DPS per second. I'm like, bro, that's out of my realm.
Making tier list YouTube videos is terrifying.
Oh, that's true. Like getting fact checked sucks.
I've been getting there's the recent one that I made with the monsters and everything with Iceborne. Like we did it based on the 3 people, so the people I used to record with. So it's the 3 of us trying to figure out where we would place these different monsters, and we have like a lot of different opinions. Like some friends of my friend group did not like Fayetalis, and so it was just like trying to find that weird balance. And when people saw you could tell the people that skimmed through the video just to get to the end. They're just like, "Oh, why did you do this?" I'm like, "Did you listen to our reasoning?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, did you not listen to anything we just said?
Mm-hmm.
Before I forget, if you guys ever want to, you guys are mad cool. So if you guys ever want to hunt, like, just hit me up.
Go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always down.
It's really funny because people like, I think I said on stream, I was like, oh, like, you know, I think with Rise, I think I can become like one of the biggest Monster Hunter people. And then my whole chat was like, you idiot, like you are. It's so interesting, like seeing that point of view, because you know I never really think of it that way. But I mean, maybe you guys can tell me. Phil, did you feel any kind of weird pressure or intimidation approaching me about this or the first podcast?
The first podcast?
Yeah. People was like they're worried to ask me to play, and I'm just like, I'm just a regular fucking guy. I'm just a guy who just plays this game.
It's just a starstruck thing. It's
well, with that, because for those that just joined this podcast, I did a lot of interviews, interviewing like either Monster Hunter creators or just creators in general on my main channel. I did one with you. I did one with I think Tuna and Jinx. I was the most nervous about.
Oh yeah,
because they blew up quick and they were like huge, and they're very like the way they talk about things is like very mathematical, and they always have something to back up the reasoning. And I was very nervous. I was like, what if I say something wrong or something like that? But while we were talking, and it's like same thing with you, like while we were talking and everything, I was just like, oh, we're all normal fucking people. It's
like, how serious can we be? We fucking love like anime and video games. We're just in here.
But yeah, I'm wearing a kimono, dude. Like, bro, I'm not cool right now. I'm just kidding.
That was around when I started doing podcasts and everything. But like when I got more into it and stuff like that, I'm like really close friends with Tuna. I'm really close. I talk with Jinx whenever I can. Chris and we tweet at each other every now and then.
Chris is so fun.
He's chill.
He spent like $200 on Ubers in Boston.
Why?
Yeah, we were chilling in my hotel room, and he just told me that. He's like, I've spent so many Ubers. So I'm like, why? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, it was his first time in the States.
Oh, yeah. He's like, isn't that how it's supposed to?
I was like, Chris, like, that's right down the street. Like, follow me. I'll take you there. But he's such a home. He's chill.
Yeah. But like, it was, yeah, like I said, it just becomes a thing where at first, I was nervous. I was nervous talking to you. I was nervous talking to Faye, even you, Brian, when I first did the podcast with you. Because just like, I mean, I'm interviewing people I don't really know. I haven't really talked with them other than like maybe a few messages. So I'm really worried that like maybe how I portray myself.
Things just don't gel.
Yeah, like I was really worried about that. But then over time, like during the conversation we have on the podcast, and then even after, like I felt like I've become really close friends with all you guys. And I love hanging out with you guys. So it's like
you got a knack for it too, man.
Symbolism.
But we're
we were talking about I guess the interviews, but like we're all normal people. Everyone's yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to go off from that, but yeah.
I was when I went on the podcast with Fumetto and Jin. Oh my god, you guys! I was so nervous the entire day leading up to it because I had never met Jin, and Fumetto's already intimidating enough. But luckily, I know we're
It's
friends.
so
And
funny.
we've done a lot of content together. So, but like I was just nervous as fuck to talk to them because like. You know, they have a lot of speedrunners on. They have a lot of people that really know what they're talking about when it comes to Monster Hunter. And then there's me. Okay. So I was like, shit, how am I going to find ways to relate to these guys? And then we started talking and I was like, the fuck was I worried about? Like they're
both chill. Yeah.
they feel really comfortable. Like they really did. And we were just having a few drinks and it was like so much fun, you know? And I was like, well, why was I so nervous the whole day for this?
Yeah.
Definitely. They're two homies right there.
Yeah.
I think a few of the biggest things I was nervous about when I was interviewing Tuna Jinx and then Chris later on was that there was like a little bit of Monster Hunter drama between the two groups, and
I do remember that time period.
yeah, so like I was asking questions about that. I asked him, is it okay for me to ask this? And then only to be fair, I asked Chris as well the same questions. That was probably the most nervous I was, but like after that, like it was just like we had great conversation. I enjoyed talking with them, like in and out of doing social media. So it's like they're all great people in general. I don't really have a particular side at all, if people were wondering.
How about we a way to kind of tie in the heavy stuff we were talking about, but also gaming together. What for as we go into this new year, right? These unseen horizons. What is something that you would like to offer to the community, whether it be just Monster Hunter or just like your community, whether because you guys do multiple games, and what is something that you would like to offer yourself?
I
I can start. That one's easy for me. So my New Year's resolution this year. So Henry, and maybe you can relate to me a lot. I feel like there's a lot of things that you talked about, and maybe some things that I talked about that you can just kind of connect with. But I'm really like it may appear that I like am confident. I have a really low self-esteem, right? Like I'm very self-aware of what I'm capable of and what I can do, and I have a hard time like accepting compliments. So my New Year's resolution this year was something really small, to just not backhand any compliment, just to say thank you.
All right.
Oh,
So, hell yeah.
So
less
that's just
self-deprecation kind of stuff.
Well, it's like, bro, like I'm not gonna do it anymore, but I'm an emotional drinker, and I got on stream and I was drunk, and like my community did something so nice, and they wrote me a kudos board. And like anytime I read something, I was like, I don't agree with that, or I don't feel the same way. But instead, it was really selfish thinking on my part, right? Because like here's just a person, well, not just any person, but here's a person that watches me and wrote something very generous and sweet, and they went out of their way. Maybe they went out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And here I am, just like backhanding that compliment. So it like really puts perspective on me. And it's just like something I'm striving to be better. But it's really hard, like
it is tough
learning to acknowledge that and be okay with it. So that's just like something I wanted to give, was just if someone said something nice, to say thank you. So
I love that. I like, and it's nice, short, sweet, and simple, but the impact that it'll have on you and like your psyche, and then like inadvertently or even purposely on your community as well. Like if you're more receptive to it, you're gonna get more of that energy too. Like if every time you compliment someone, they're just like, oh, well, I'm not that funny, and then that person's gonna be like, all right, well then you're not that funny then, see ya. And then like they're just gonna like stop. But yeah, like if you kind of accept it because you're deserving of it, right? You're deserving of it from your community and from your friends and from the world. And if you kind of just let yourself take it in, then you'll also kind of like radiate that too. One thing that, before you continue or before like whoever goes next, I like this analogy that I was kind of just doing on Halloween. Actually, it was a new moon or a blue moon. It was some kind of moon, and I was invited to like this kind of like astrology based hangout. Astrology is really interesting. I dabble in it a little bit. A lot of people have said I do a lot of things because I'm a Pisces moon. All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I'm a Leo too, so apparently that's a interesting combo because I'm like very passionate on the. So like apparently, I'll be quick with this. Like your sun, like the one that most people know, the one is the one that you show people, and then your moon is the one you don't show people. So I'm a Leo, but I'm a Pisces moon, so I'm very like, same thing. I may seem confident and passionate and very fiery, a very present personality, but on the inside, I'm fucking crying all the time, and I'm all water, and I'm a water sign and all that stuff. Yeah, so pretty interesting.
That's really interesting.
Someone at the hangout was saying like they used a pretty common analogy of like you can't pour from an empty cup, but they kind of like built upon it. Like sometimes, imagine like we have this like steady flow of water, right? Whatever that's energy, whatever motivation, any kind of effort, and like we have like a fixed amount. And what sometimes it's like, we let it, and then like we pour it into that cup, we fill it up halfway, pour like we're trying to like pour it into multiple places, but really all you got to do is just keep the cup facing up, and then it's just gonna flow to the top, and it'll like go to all the other cups evenly, right? And like sometimes like you're that cup, and like if you just kind of like take it all in and like treat yourself well and like take any good energy and like kind of don't shy away from it, you're just gonna like have it all, and like almost subconsciously like you will give it to others, like you will share it and you will
That's
like
your vibe.
give it up. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I like that. It's like it's just simple analogy, easy visual.
That's really
kind of what you're doing. Word up.
Really dope. Awesome. So the question was something you want to give to your community, and that's something you want to give to yourself. So I guess like in terms of Monster Hunter, when Rise comes out, I want to give my community like a safe space to come and experience the game, obviously like in a very casual way. Like people can join and we can just really take things slow and experience things in just a really fun way, and we can kind of learn the game together. I don't want to take it too seriously. Like maybe I can start taking it seriously a little later on, kind of like how I did with Monster Hunter World. Like I just experienced the game, had fun, got to know the community, got to know their streamers, and then like I really started to do like some solo stuff, and that's how I found weapons that I really like to use. So I think I'd like to take the same approach for Rise, pick a fun weapon to choose, play multiplayer, enjoy the game, learn the game with everyone. And then, try not to get too serious about it, because then maybe it'll just kind of create like a positive, cloud around, my channel and the game and everything.
Hell yeah.
And something I'd like to give myself, maybe like forgiveness, and not be too hard on myself all the time, because I think I was telling these guys for the longest time, after every stream, I just kind of like dwell on like everything that happened and like pick out very negative things, even though I had like a great day. I will dwell on, bad stuff that I don't need to dwell on it, and maybe I just need to forgive myself and focus on the positive things and just, be in a better mindset in that sense, and forgive myself.
Yeah. Those are two wonderful things. Forgiving yourself that's hard.
It's a big one.
Like, that's like EX difficulty, fucking new game plus, all that stuff. Yeah,
Forgive myself for bitching out that one guy who said that thing that was really not a big deal the other day.
You can start there. You can start there, and then like, but also like forgive yourself for like exactly like forgive yourself for like reacting that way.
Yep.
That's where you were at the time, right? Not much more you could do with that.
Yep.
And then like kind of just let yourself react how you're gonna react. You can always like think about it later, and then kind of just put whatever you come to terms with later on when you're thinking about it to the situation like the next time it happens. And I think the thing about playing through the game casually is so true, because yesterday, I raided Inferno Omni, if you guys know him. He was a chill dude. I had seen like one video of his, but apparently he's just trying Monster Hunter. Like he's never played a Monster Hunter before. So a lot of my chat was like, oh, like a lot of people, like there was a lot of Omni fans in my chat. So I was like, oh, you should raid him. You should raid him. Like make him feel welcomed. Like the Rise demo is his first ever Monster Hunter experience. And I rated him and I hung out in the chat. I was trying to convince him on Lance. He had rated everything and he gave Lance a 1 out of 10. So I was staying in chat until it became like a 6 out of 10. I was like, I will stay here as long as I can. By the end of the night, it was a 9 out of 10. So
oh yeah, I love that.
But I saw his reaction to Wyvern riding and like riding the Rathian, and then it made me realize like when you play the game, and like I haven't sped run in a long time. I used to be part of that realm, but like not anymore.
Yeah.
But I still think of things in a certain analytical way, and like the viability of this. Does the series need this? And then I saw the reaction to someone riding a Rathian, and he was like, "Yo, I'm on the dragon. Like this is great." And I'm just like, "That's fantastic." So like if it gets that kind of reaction to someone. Yeah. And like they enjoy it, and it's just like something that's gonna keep them around, and then maybe they'll try the other stuff. Then like maybe we don't gotta be so critical about it in the beginning and stuff like that. So it was like a weirdly sobering thing. I'm like, okay, like I'm thinking about it.
Stop overanalyzing it.
This like veteran hunter way, but it's just like,
I get it.
Just mess around with it. So
and we as a casual, well, I speak for myself as a casual player, we appreciate when speedrunners and more analytical methodical people see things in that way, because that's how we're seeing it. We're in the moment, we're enjoying silly things like that. And we love when that perspective is just allowed, and it's okay. It's not looked down on. It's not, people aren't condescending and people don't, because I see that shit on Twitter. I see it all the time. And it just like, it sucks, because it's like, dude, it's a video game. Can you just let people enjoy it? Holy shit. And that goes in any realm, speedrunners,
definitely.
Casuals, just, oh my God.
And it's interesting, and like the last point I'll make towards that is like it's all one and the same. Like I remember when that whole debacle was happening last year, there were so many parties involved that I won't even get into it. But like one thing I was telling people, like it's all one and the same. Like you can't hate on like Maximilian dude for like using like spamming aerial insect glaive. Like it's not the right way to play.
Come on, man.
Who cares? He's got thousands of people watching him who are then gonna like maybe 1,000 of those people.
It's like new opportunities, right?
Exactly. And then maybe from those 1,000, 500 stick around and maybe check out some other streamers or YouTube, and then those people end up finding more channels, and then that's how they find their way. I told the speedrunner, I was like, no one fucking looks up Nergigante solo SNS 2:52 minutes fucking TA rule. No one YouTubes that. I was told straight up, I'm like, no one like YouTubes that. People like get interested in the game, and then like they try some stuff. I'm like, nice, like I killed this Nergy pretty fast, and then like via the YouTube algorithm, it comes up like a Nergy speedrun. Like what 2 minutes? What? Oh my God, that's great. And like that's how they find it. And it's all one and the same. And then maybe people who like play really serious, they just want to see like someone playing and making a funny meme montage or whatever. Like it's all, at least maybe not in every game, right? But at least in a game like Monster Hunter, it's all one fountain, So there's, whenever I see those arguments or debates, I'm just like, it doesn't matter, man. Just hunt, just play the game. It's all good.
Exactly. Like, so what if it takes you 20 minutes when it takes someone else 8 minutes? Just get it done, and then get better and improve.
Exactly. If you want
to, really, if it's gonna even bother you that much, I mean, shit, you could be proud of that 20-minute hunt.
Exactly.
Don't let anyone take that away from you, man.
Phil, what about you?
So it was there was like two questions. There was sorry.
Oh, it's all right, man.
What do you want to give or offer to the community, and what would you like to give or offer to yourself?
Doesn't have to be to Rise either.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I guess like be a more on top of things in terms of social media. Try to, like, especially like with Twitter, and try to get more involved in like the community related to like TikTok, and just have more fun with the content I'm making. That's what I want to give out. And then for myself, it'll probably be focused more on the now, because I feel like I'm really focused more in the past a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
Word up. Really quick, do either of you do you all have Netflix?
Yes.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Have any of you watched Midnight Gospel?
No.
Check out Midnight Gospel. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
It's animated in the style of Adventure Time, so it's kind of like appealing to the eye, but it's some cool. It's like some deep. You'll see. It's 6 episodes, and they're each. It's not like it's like 6 episodes, and they're each like 20-something minutes. You can like bang it out in one evening. But yeah, Midnight Gospel. Anyone in the comments? Midnight Gospel. And if you know what I'm talking about, you'll know why I'm suggesting it. But
help it yourself though.
Oh yeah, and for me, yeah, I think in terms of the community, or like the community or mine, I do want to like post more. And I guess they kind of tie into each other, like what I want to give the community and myself. Like I want to post more, because again, like I love creating and I love sharing stuff, and I love like interacting. Like I've realized that like that I don't know what my calling is, right? I might find my calling when I'm 50, right? So who knows? But one thing that I definitely enjoy is just like being in the presence of other consciousnesses, and just like sharing my essence with them. And like, you know, I don't know. I love talking to people, and I can talk to people for hours, like I did to you guys today. And I do want to post more. And I think like one thing I'd like to offer you guys and the community is like just try to do that more. Like it sounds simple, but like I overthink still, like I like a lot less, but I still overthink my videos. And like that's why it takes so long in between videos, because I'm trying to think so much. Something really interesting happens, like as you start to grow, you start to like really you start to think a lot about what you're posting, and it's weird, because like you start to post in a way where you know you have an audience. And I want to get to a place where I post back when I was making videos where I didn't have an audience, or I didn't really care, because like subconsciously, like I know that I have what I don't even know 40,000 subscribers, like because I know that. I'm like thinking of it in a certain context, and I can't get out of that. Like I can't ignore that. So I want to post in a way where I'm not thinking about that. And I think if I do, the content will be better. So like I think if I just like lend myself to that, the community will get what they're subscribed for, pretty much, right? Instead of like these huge delays and like kind of overthought thing. Like a really quick thing, like people really like my What's the Difference series that I made, which was just a video series about if you started with World and you were trying GU. And I've mentioned this on and I've mentioned this on stream. I don't like those videos, because I made those videos as like I'm going to try and take advantage of the algorithm. A lot of people are searching up GU and World. Let me put GU. And I've like YouTube, I like searched all this up. Like if you post on YouTube, you put the title of the game first in the title, and then, you know, like if you title a certain way, if you thumbnail a certain way, it gets more views. And like when I made those videos, it was like the height of that. Like they were very formulaic. Like they were like very YouTubery YouTube videos, and I didn't like that. Like those were videos I posted. Like those were videos that I didn't like, but I posted them because I expected them to get a lot of views. And then what happened? They didn't get a lot of views. And then I got really bummed, and then I didn't post for a long time. And you know what's even more fucked about that? They got a couple thousand views, but me in my brain, like once I get accustomed to like 80,000 views, I look at 20,000 views, and I'm just like, oh, that's not good. That's 20,000 people, right? But again, being shitty, like I got it in my head, and then there was another gap of videos, right? And it's just a downward spiral. So all of that to say, I would just like to offer more of myself, because apparently people out there enjoy me in my truest form, right? And I'm trying to get there. And I think what I'd like to offer myself which kind of goes hand in hand with pretty much whatever I want to do, whether it's videos or music or anything, is just to like have fun still, like, you know, kind of remember why I do anything, you know, like I started making YouTube because I thought it was fun and I thought it was funny, and I shouldn't really like get in this head. Sometimes I'm trying to record music and I'm like getting really angry and like cursing at my Mac, and like it's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because like I have fun. And then sometimes I go listen to, I have like a bunch of songs on my Mac. I have a bunch of songs on my Mac that no one has heard. And sometimes I'll just be jamming to like my own song. And then sometimes I'll stop in that moment and be like, yo, remember this feeling. Like, this is why you make music. So you just listen to it yourself. Like, and like, I think Coco has heard stuff. I think I played a little bit of stuff in the hotel. Oh, and J Sweet, she's heard some stuff because I just shared it. And yeah, like I don't care. Like I just have to remember that it's just for me, pretty much. And in a sense, be a little bit more selfish. I think we kind of demonize selfishness, but I think we should be more selfish. Not in like not only like a super like egomaniac sense.
No,
but like
there's good to be selfish for what you want.
Yeah, definitely. I sometimes and my ex even told me this, but she's like, you give people too much of yourself sometimes. And I was like, what are you talking about? You know, I was like, you know what you're saying. But like I look back on it and I do, and I have, and I've like spread myself very, very thin to try to like make everyone and everything happy. But that is a recipe for disaster, and you can't do that. So I think if you kind of just like put yourself first, if you put yourself first, you will be able to kind of achieve those things you're trying to do. And maybe you will create an environment where people are happy, but not at the expense of yourself. But while you are treating yourself well, people around you are doing better. So those were my weird ass 2 answers to my own question.
Well, I wish you luck with all of that. Like, good luck to you. I hope you can achieve.
Thank you very much.
And if it doesn't happen all this year, it will.
Exactly, right? Yeah. And that's the thing too. Same thing for you guys. Like,
Thanks.
Whatever you want to offer to everybody else and yourselves doesn't have to happen in 2021. You know, what are years anyway? What is time? Somebody way back then was like, all right, this thing is an hour and that thing is a day. I don't know what that shit is, right? We're all just floating on this rock anyway.
What is age? Just because I'm in my 30s. Okay, I'm still young. I'm still kicking it.
Hell yeah. We're all ages. We're all timeless.
That's right.
Chilling right now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think that's probably a good stopping point.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything else I wanted to share. Just it's just nice to have you on here. You're kind of like an old soul in a way.
I do feel like
that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? It's just like you just kind of have your own resonate. Like you just resonate really well, and I think it just directed this podcast, and the flow was just really good. And I'm just glad I got to learn a lot more about you. You know, you probably learned a lot about me.
Yeah, thank you all for sharing.
But no, it really means a lot that you offered some of your time to share with us and people that are watching. And I hope people that watch learn something new about you. And, you know, I can't wait till we have another deep conversation down the line. And
for sure.
You know, we learn something new, or maybe you've grown.
Just the beginning,
Word up. Thank you guys
really
so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
And again, whether it's for the podcast or just a multi-stream, Phil, you were hitting me up for a multi-stream. Again, you really just gotta, like, I'm really bad. I'm not gonna slide into your DMs, but if you slide into mine, I will respond with like a paragraph, really excited, and be like, let's go.
And then no reply.
Yeah. Like I won't do it, but you hit me up and I'm all for it. So if you want to play, whatever. And honestly, I pick up and I'll download whatever you guys are playing. Like, I don't fucking care. I just want to have fun, and I need to make video games fun again for me. So I'll hit up whatever.
Definitely good to know.
Word up. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
It was really good to meet you, dude. Thank you for being here.
Word up.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Catch you guys next week.
I love you. Or wait, this is the end of the video.
Now you can finally.
Now you can grab your drinks.
Popcorn. Yeah.
Go poop. You've been holding it in. I get it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
What's
All
up,
right,
you
go be
guys?
free. Go be free. Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.
Bye.